bit of yourself away. You pack it away, and you don't kind of tend to you kind of forget your dreams and your wants quite often, like as a mom.
You got to put your kids first.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. There's a lot of talk about not losing yourself as a mom, but I think that, she represents this, like the mom that, holds everything together.
Yeah.
There in the show, and really is the anchor. She's the house where all the kids come for their meals and can hang out. They go hang out in her basement.
You guys had those scenes in the beginning in season 1 where there was a lot more around the table family talking and interactions. And those were, I enjoyed those because there was a lot of funny byplay, But I mean, you were the voice of authority, where his dad had sort of checked out. And that's a dynamic, again, that resonates with a lot of people.
Yes.
I think a lot of people can find, they're thinking Stranger Things is so otherworldly, and it is, but you can find a scenario that rings true to you in the series.
Well, I think what's made the show so globally appealing is at the heart of it, it is about relationships. It is about the characters, these ordinary people put into extraordinary circumstances, and they do it for love because they love their friends and they love their family. And then you have the story of the monster and all the sci-fi effects. But at the heart of it, it's a story about family, friendships, and love.
Yeah, what drew me in as a diehard viewer is the kids in their group, and because I'm a similar age, I graduated in 1986 from high school, so that is my era, and the kids in their relationship and going on these little adventures, that was what drew me in, and obviously the nostalgia of the era. But as you had this side thing going on. Well, it's the main crux is the like you said, the monster thing, but the relationships and all this is what brought me in. Now this 5th season, I think decidedly different tone. With everybody has hardened a little bit. The kids have grown up. They've seen a lot of trauma. They've shared a lot of trauma together. They're isolated in this town. They feel like captors. And so far, there's a little less humor and lightheartedness that you find in those first 4 seasons. Even when crazy stuff was going on, there were still light moments. And I'm hoping that a little bit of that works its way back in. I don't dislike the fact that it's gone because I know how the storyline has come about. Right. But the Duffers would always add in some great humor into this. And is there a little bit more coming in season 5? Maybe?
I love that you noticed that because that's true. Right, they've been under quarantine for 2 years, and especially when you see Dustin in the first episode. I mean, he's always the sort of the jokier one, and he's really heavy. They didn't just dismiss him. The death of Eddie is it's 2 years later, and he's still carrying that with him. And I love that's the truth of it. Yeah, there's still, I think there's even still humor, especially in the first 4 episodes, not as much.
Yeah.
But I even think when Millie says to Hopper, when she's explaining what happened at the Wheeler house, and he's like, "What? The Demogorgon?" And she goes, "Karen with her wine." That is one of my favorite lines. It's hilarious.
That's why the wine is so obvious.
Right. I mean, it's because it's he's so clueless as to what's going on. So I think it's delivered a little different.
Yeah.
I'd
read that you were on season 1, day 1, scene 1, take 1. You were right there. You've been there for the long haul, this whole thing. When the wrap up was approaching, those last couple of weeks, when did that start to settle into you that, wow, this magic's going away? At least this day-to-day part of it is.
I am probably the most nostalgic person you've ever met. I have 17,000 pictures on my phone, and I will just go, "Oh my gosh, look at this, look at this." So for me, it started on day 1. As we approached the last few weeks, I was very noticing. They would strike certain sets that didn't exist anymore, and I would go into the stages, and I just was trying to avoid certain places. Now they're just empty rooms.
Yeah.
And the last day, a lot of the families came. My husband and daughter came, and I was so happy to be in the last day, last scene, and I think it was the second or third last take of the
So all the
show.
way through.
Yeah, from beginning to end.
It's my understanding, though you have a couple of lines, you had to keep doing it over and over because you were crying.
I have 2 lines at the end.
Right.
Literally, like.
But I mean, that's the full sweep from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we talked about you going up with these people, and in fact, was it Millie Bobby Brown gave you some sort of acknowledgement of you as mom, or
give some gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, she made these. We had a table read of the final script.
Yeah.
And we had not been given the scripts beforehand, so everyone was reading them for the first time as we were turning the pages and discovering how the series ended. And
how does it end?
she had made beaded bracelets for everybody, and mine said "Mama" on it.
Oh man, that's so cool.
I know, I'm going to start crying.
That's all good. No, it's been an amazing experience for me personally in my life, my family. I've really bonded with my youngest kid over this show, and it's our thing. We talk about it all the time, and we're caught up in all the social media. You know, there are so many sites out there of people that have their theories about about Dimension X and the Upside Down, and we're all in.
It's a global phenomenon.
Well, you know what's interesting? I heard the Duffers say that I think really connected me to them is that childhood is magical.
Yes.
And I think it just taps into all of our inner child.
Yeah.
And connects all of us globally, right? Like, and I love how, I've been on some great shows. I've done a lot of things, and I love meeting the fans. I love hearing about the fan theories. I love seeing the fan art. I love seeing the cosplay, and I love that connection. I don't know any other. I mean, there's some other shows I think like Wednesday, and that do connect people. But I will forever be so grateful for this opportunity to have these conversations. I enjoy it, and the Duffers enjoy it, and I just enjoy talking about all of the aspects of it.
We love that you enjoy it.
Yes.
I do. I'm a total geek.
You were part of The Sopranos. You're the Hulk's mother in Hulk.
The first Hulk before it ever.
Ang Lee. That's no shoddy director there. So you've had these things and these pop culture moments. But again, this is for people who have waited and are still not on the Stranger Things bandwagon. It's something that do you proselytize the message when you go out? Do you tell people who aren't watching the series you need to check it out? And if so, how do you sell it? I know it'll sound self-serving.
No, it's funny because sometimes you do a project and you're like, I don't know how many people will like this, or it's not their cup of tea. And I remember describing the first season. I said, it's about this small town, and this boy goes missing, and the kids team up to go look for him, and they kind of had this like, okay, doesn't sound that interesting. And there's a monster,
right? Yeah,
and people are
okay,
okay, and I said, you're gonna like it. There's just something special about it. I just tell people, I promise you'll like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that no matter what, you'll find something, whether it's the music, the kids, the science fiction, the special effects. Like, there's just really something for everyone that crosses all across the generation.
And you're part of it. And it's again, a global phenomenon, and it's one for the history books. There's not going to be another series like it.
We could talk for hours.
We could.
But you have to go. You're a busy person, so we appreciate the time that you've given us, and I'm so excited.
Thank you for being you guys are super fans, and I truly love the conversation about all the details.
Thank you so much. You've done great, and continued success. Thank you. Cara Buono, guys, from Stranger Things this morning. And don't forget, Christmas Day. Christmas Day, right? The 25th. That's when
Christmas Day, and then the finale is New Year's Eve.
I'm going to be in the movie theater to see that.
Did you get tickets for the movie theater?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
I think it's selling out.
Yeah. I will be there I know a couple people, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cara. Appreciate it. All right, we'll take a break, and we will be right back, my friend. Make sure you stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, if you hate to walk away from the television, you can just take it with you now. Hisense announced a new TV. It's called the S6 Follow Me that can roll from room to room if you needed to.
Oh, my.
The 32-inch 4K touchscreen sits on a pedestal with wheels and can tilt, rotate, and adjust in height. Now, I haven't seen this. I've only read this story. You have?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So think of it almost looks like a large iPad on a swivel. So the mount is on a swivel, and it's almost like the kind of rollers that you would have an IV on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I've seen.
What's the name of it again, Preston?
Hisense.
It is called Hisense, and it's called the S6 Follow Me.
All right, the Hisense is the brand. I remember that.
Yeah.
I always thought like Hisense was like it was like the cheaper TV that you would find at Walmart.
Hisense actually put out some good stuff.
Okay.
Okay. This is a different version than I saw, Preston. I might have seen the beta, but yeah. Does that hold any interest to you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Because Lord knows you don't have enough TVs.
I know. Yeah, I mean, TVs are pretty inexpensive now.
And by the way,
pretty much put them where you want to.
The big issue that all these companies are dealing with, and Netflix and HBO and these kind of things, is that a good portion of the TV viewing public is not viewing classic TV, A, and B, they're watching it on their phones, their phones, and or iPads, which you can carry with you anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need an affixed stand.
But if you do want a larger screen, this is a better option because it's a 32-inch screen as opposed to a pad is going to be about as big as you get.
With your kids, quote unquote kids, in general. Large screen TV sitters or mostly computer?
They do both. So yeah, they'll spend some time on the phone. But if they're going to watch a movie or a show, it's on the TV.
On the TV.
On the screen,
okay, yeah.
I'm still laughing that I said my son's brother.
Should we just hang there for a little while? Okay.
No, because I wanted to say
It's a game. It's a game.
It's a kid, my son's brother. Sorry. When you were coming up, when you were a little kid, how many TVs did you have?
Okay, I'll tell you, like teenage years.
Yeah.
So we had the living room television. We had one in the basement, and then one in my room, my sister's room, and my parents' room. So we had 5 TVs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was the TV in the main room. My parents had a TV in their bedroom. That was it. Then my older brother, Gene, got a black and white. These are all black. I mean, I go way back.
Yeah.
And then we finally had den, parents' bedroom, my bedroom, and one in the basement.
Yes, we had 2 essentially. We had a room called the TV room, and
Which
that was upstairs.
Yeah.
But we did have a black and white TV that was in the kitchen. And that wasn't connected to cable. So that was like strictly to like maybe watch the news when you were eating lunch or dinner or whatever.
Right.
We had one black and white TV that lasted a long time. And the thing that was unique about this particular black and white television, it was a fairly small one. I'm holding out my arms, it's about this big. And in its later years, as the picture would get a little bit iffy, we would beat the piss out of that.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Smack it as hard as you could. And you know what?
It would work.
It would work.
It would work.
You'd just hit it.
Smacked. We had an Admiral or maybe a Philco, these old brands, and Preston, I'd rabbit punch,
bang, bang.
you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then I attached a closed wrench to the on and off button on the top. And my brother and I were in the same room. I was the turn on guy. There was the rope in the middle. And I'd have the rope, and then when we were going to sleep, I'd toss the rope over to his bed
And you turn it off.
All right.
That's great.
Follow-up question. What TV show do you think of when you think of that television?
That particular one,
Yeah.
that one, The Night Stalker. That's the movie. And then I remember clearly when we got our first color television set. Yes, that's my frame of reference, chronologically speaking. I remember for the first time ever seeing that Wile E. Coyote had yellow eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No kidding. Because when I ask you that question, I think of 2 things: tic-tac-toe for some reason,
Right.
And I just
Two girls in a cup.
No. I'm just going to say the news, but in particular, it was the Russia conflict in the Middle East. Because I thought the world was going to end.
I probably think of reruns of Leave It to Beaver.
Okay.
Because that would be on in the morning before school.
Great show.
And I would go in, and that was in black and white. So, all right. But anyway, they have this. If you want to get the S6 Follow Me, it runs on battery power for up to 10 hours. So that means you can move it around. You don't have to plug it in. That's kind of the unique thing about it, I think.
And it's clearly
besides the fact that it's on a stand and a roller.
It's a Wi-Fi set.
It also has anti-glare coating to help it work in bright spaces like kitchens or patios. Hisense designed it for people who want a screen that goes where they go. It reminds me of, have you ever been to in some medical offices?
Yeah.
Like they roll their monitors around from place to place.
So a lot of people use these monitors as like extended iPads. You know, they make touch screens that are that size for that same purpose.
Yeah, I don't think this is a touch screen.
No, it's not.
But this is for just watching shows or whatever you may be doing.
I want to watch Leave It to Beaver in here.
So it says that it uses Wi-Fi 6 and, Steve, touchscreen for controls.
There you go.
Instead of a remote. There you go. They have not yet announced pricing or release date as of yet, so it's still kind of in advanced conceptual phase.
I would love to see them attach sort of an electric scooter to the bottom of it so you could drive your TV around town.
And you could be watching some cool, exotic location and think you're driving around there.
Yeah, we need all of this so much.
All right, that's the last thing.
All right. That was a junk drawer. Preston's closing up his junk drawer. There's nothing left here in the junk drawer. Until next time, that was the junk drawer.
One day we'll put some champagne glasses in here.
Yeah, they'll
see
just
if I can
explode while you're in the middle of that. Flyers had a hell of a game last night against the Ducks. In fact, I'll let Paul Newman describe the action.
Old-time hockey?
Oh, well, that wasn't Paul Newman. That was a different clip from Slapshot. Ryan probably doesn't know who Paul Newman is. I had him grab the clip, but that's still old-time hockey.
DeVore gave it up.
Oh, and then this was a clip I was going to play after that. I thought we were going to stay with that last clip. But here's a little bit of the action from last night.
DeVore gave it up. Zegras scores. Trevor Zegras against his former club has his 16th of the year. York gives it up. They score. It's Zegras. Zegras has his second on the power play. Trevor Zegras is making a point to his former club.
A team that might have given up on you, Trevor, and you come in here, you pot two in that first period. How good did that feel? Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trevor dropped a couple live F-bombs last night. And what we didn't have was Tim Saunders telling somebody to blow him.
Oh, my God.
On that particular clip. But nonetheless, we're welcoming a good friend to our program today. Please give some love. He does color now on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Our friend Scott Hartnell is joining us. What's up, Hartsy?
Not much, guys. That's quite the intro there. A couple great sound bites there for sure.
Oh, my God. Listen, man, I know he was excited, Zegras, obviously, but he did know he was on television when he said that, right?
I would assume, and I don't know if he just felt comfortable because it was me, former player. I met him around the rink a bunch of times, and it was just kind of him and I chatting. But when that kind of happens, you get kind of pure gold answers, right? And I didn't know what to say, right? I'm like, and he says that, I was like, okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, you didn't react.
I mean, listen, man, you go from professional athlete to broadcaster. You don't know how to handle that. I mean, it's, you're on the other end of it all those
and
years.
that very well could have been you giving that exact same answer.
I know, and it's actually probably the most nervous I get, doing the analyst work, the color work, whatever, is asking an athlete a question, right? We were asked questions for, 20 years when you're 15 years old, you're starting to get good. And then, a couple of articles in the paper, and all you do is answer questions all the time. And my first time in the studio was at NHL Network. A coach got fired at Edmonton. I was talking to their beat writer, and I just froze. I didn't project my voice. The guy couldn't hear me. It was like an awkward question. And I feel a little bit more comfortable now. But when you I don't know, you just get I get an anxiety up the yizzang right before I get on there.
It's natural.
Well, it is such another side of it. I mean, later on in the post game, you guys were talking about there's the serious guy, there's the straight guy, and then there's the fun guy. And having those interviews with the fun guy is just really fun, especially after a game like that. Because when you get the fun guy and he's straight afterwards and just giving you those straight on answers, it's just there's no sound bites, there's no energy to it. It's so tough to keep it going.
Yeah, it was real, right? And then his celebration too, right? When he put down the phone call.
What was that
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
You asked him about that, and he said, "I don't know." Right?
He did say, he goes, that's about as long as the phone call was when Pat Verbeek, the GM of Anaheim, called him and said, "Hey, we just traded you to Philadelphia," and it was like, boop.
Wow.
I think that was the reference. He kind of said it, but I implied that, and then he got asked later on in the scrums in the locker room, and he said, "Nah, next question." So I assume it's that. So a little bit of not I don't know, maybe FU to him, but it was good.
Seems like it.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like there was a lot of FU going on in the game last night. And I guess, with the Cutter Gauthier and Zegras and Gudis, former Flyer. Like, I feel like when you are going against your former team, you try to go maybe score 2 goals against them, not throw horrible elbows. Like Gudis was a fan favorite when he was in the orange and black here in Philadelphia, and I'm watching the game last night, and I'm like, F that guy, so he was playing with a chip on his shoulder as well. It seemed like.
Yeah, the forearm shiver, the people's elbow, whatever you want to call it. It was nasty, and that's like you played at the beginning of the show, Preston. That's old school, old time hockey, right? It was fun. It had Garnet Hathaway, being scratched for a couple weeks there, came back in Edmonton, and last night just bowling guys over, just playing hard, playing the right way, clean hits, right? And they took an exception to that and kind of went after our guys. So it was a couple injuries, which you don't want to see, and hopefully those guys, Bobby Brink and Jamie Drysdale are big guys, big important guys for the Flyers. So hopefully they're not out too long, but a big win nonetheless, and guys got to step up here going forward because you got a couple good teams coming.
Yeah, the one that I hated the most was Johnston's forearm to Denver Barkey's grill. He was bleeding from his mouth, and he only got a minor penalty for it. I thought that should have been a major, And then when something like that happens, how do the Flyers keep their composure and not take cheap shots?
Yeah, I've been in those situations many times, right? Someone going after Chemo or Giroux or Danny B, and your instinct is just to protect your buddy, right? And you don't want to cross that line when they're crossing the line towards you. And there's things that you can do, like a good slash behind the back of the leg, or you take a number and you wait till next game, right? So that's we play those guys again in March, I believe, sometime in March. So in Anaheim, so that'll be a homecoming, for Trevor Zegras. So hopefully you can do the same thing, but it probably will get a little testy as well, I would assume.
Hey, Scott, is there ever when you're given some payback, when you're issuing some payback?
Okay, thanks, Marissa. It occurs to me as we do this, and we've had situations throughout the history of the show. When we were talking about this earlier case, and Marissa, when it was leading up to the first Super Bowl victory.
Yeah.
Remember those days?
Yes.
And Preston was out. He had either the flu or COVID. We don't know. It might have been COVID at the time. We weren't sure. Anyway, it was like a bunch of juggling. But we were in a mindset. We'd had a couple of, sick runs.
Yeah.
We've been out of practice with this.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize how much of what we do on a daily basis is essentially muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people say when they come into the studio, they watch us do the deal here, and they'll see me not even looking at the keyboard, hitting buttons. I just know where they are, So, and it's the same thing, but you're sitting in a different spot. There's a different, the workload shift, and it is surprisingly disorienting.
Well, so the worst thing for me right now is this mouse I'm using with my left hand. I'm like, I don't know how to use a mouse. I'm going to turn this little switch off over here. Like switching over and using a mouse with my left hand is just not normal.
It makes you realize how feeble. Marissa, you were talking about being without your phone for a couple days, and it's a little frightening when you realize how reliant you are on some of the technology and how set in your ways. Now, mind you, that could be an attribute. Okay, you got good at it. You're so good, you can sit down at the piano and play without looking at it.
Right.
But if maybe you get a different type of piano or something, it will throw you off.
Or your seat's a little higher.
Yeah.
Every day. My screen broke. It was like black screen of death. And I thought, okay, I can live without text messages or Instagram for a minute. But then I realized I couldn't log into my computer. I couldn't log into my iCloud because I needed like 2-factor author. Like it was terrible for 2 whole days.
Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. I had to change the password on my work email. If you sent me email concerning the snowblower, helping me with my snowblower, I will get back to you. Thank you so much. A lot of people responded. It's one of those. the blessing and the curse of two-factor authentication, right? It's a nightmare sometimes, but other times it will save your ass. So anyway, besides all that's going on, the show's going to carry on, and we have some cool stuff to get to. This is something that we love. Preston loves it. Hopefully you love it. It's Stack of Topics.
We have not done a segment in a while, and I would like to fire this up now. For Stacko Topics.
Stacko Topics.
This is Stacko Topics. All right, so I have...
One more time.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
This is Stacko Topics.
Is it a 3 count off or a 4 count off to start it?
2. 1, 2. This is Stacko Topics. There you go.
There it is.
One more time.
All right, so I have just a variety of topics that I've written down,
That's
literally
a stack.
on our scrap paper. In fact, I have here, Marissa. You can get video of this. I have an actual cover sheet for it.
Fan them out.
And it's a variety of just topics, and we randomly dive in and grab some, and then we talk.
This is just an exercise for you, the listeners, to see how good we really are.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's really
Oh,
is.
yeah, that's what it is. That's
Putting
how
us
I
to the
designed
test.
this.
Yeah.
This is basically Paris Island for us.
Pick one.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh,
you
man, I'm-
rarely get the
I'm-
chance to do this.
I'm terrible at this, though,
No,
guys.
no. Have faith in yourself, because I don't.
All right, read the topic, Case. What is it?
All right. At my job, we would like you, as a customer, to stop doing this.
I like that. That is a good one.
Okay.
That is so. You at your line of work or whatever you do, you're interacting with customers. This is something you've always wanted to say. We wish you'd stop doing this.
Yep, 610-660-9333. If it's a standard pet peeve of whatever line of work you're in or something that just drives you personally crazy, we'd like to hear about
Like,
it.
for example, if people come into your hotel room and piss all over everything and film it for their OnlyFans account.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. All right, so I try to not do this anymore ever since, I think it was Gary Gulman does a bit about it, and so I go to Chipotle quite a bit. I'm a Chipotle guy.
Oh, we know.
And so when you're ordering your bowl, to not point at what you like, the people preparing your dish.
They can't see exactly where you're pointing, maybe?
But they also know, when you say white rice, black beans, barbacoa, they know where that's at. So you don't have to point to it like white rice, black beans, barbacoa, pico de gallo. You know,
I get it.
So the pointing, he says, drive.
He says don't point.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Now, does that bother Gary or does it bother the people who work
That's
there?
the question.
So it bothers Gary, but I think he sort of imposes that upon himself.
Because I think like a lot of times at bakeries where there are things where you don't quite know what they're called.
Oh, yeah, if you don't know what
I'll
it's
have
called,
two
yeah.
of these.
Yes.
But so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But Preston raises a good point. Is it Gary that's getting pissed off about it, or the people that work at the restaurant?
I'm guilty of that at Chipotle because if I don't want the pico de gallo, I want the green one right
The
there.
salsa verde.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know what it's called.
By the way, here's a text from somebody says, good morning, I'm a hairdresser. I can't stand when my clients show up more than a half hour early for their appointments. She says, stop doing that.
Ooh.
I guess if they show up early and they're expecting to be taken right then and there, maybe?
Yeah, I can. Listen, I understand. I tend to be early. I think that's on time. I think you and your wife and I probably agree on that a great deal, Preston, about
She definitely more than me, but yeah, you should be early.
be early, and sometimes I'll be excessively. But sometimes I also feel I don't want to be so early that I'm making the person, nervous or like
Feel rushed.
Feel rushed.
Yeah, and
exactly. Feel rushed is exactly it.
sometimes the waiting area can only accommodate 1 or 2 people, and
Right.
a place like a hair salon has it timed out that, like, all right, there might be one person waiting for 10 minutes or something like
A
that.
lot of times I'll sit in the lap of the person they're working on.
Oh, there you go.
Well, then
Like
they're just going to
stacking.
be like all thumbs at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
They're going to get so nervous. But yeah, they also know what they're doing. I mean, you've been doing it long enough. They know how long a haircut will take, right? So when you're sitting there and then they feel rushed because you're early, I guess I get that. I don't like showing up early because then I don't like waiting around, man. That's where I get anxious.
A lot of times, if you're getting surgery and you wheel yourself into the OR, it throws the doctors off.
Well, Preston and I, we agree that like when we go get like imaging done at Penn Medicine, like I always show up early because they take you early. Like
that's the one time, like,
Yeah.
So in Radnor specifically, if you show up there, I mean, I don't want to give away, but but might as well state it. Every time I've gone early, they've gotten me in early. There are many times that I walk out before my scheduled appointment was to take place.
Yep.
That's how efficient they are.
I told you that happened to me last time I was out.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let me go.
And I got my hair cut.
We go to Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Good morning.
Good morning. I guess you guys have a lot of frustrated hairstylists calling in today.
Okay. Well,
We want to hear it.
What is your issue with customers and you wish they would stop doing?
So whenever we're washing people's hair, they think that they're helping and they try to lift up their head when we're like rinsing the underneath. But really all that's doing is lifting up a whole area where we could soak your back.
Oh.
So we're always telling people, just relax your head, just relax your head. And nobody knows how to just let their head go
okay.
limp and relax.
Good to
So,
know
yeah,
because
so
your
I'm
neck
trying
kind
to
of makes a
help.
seal at the base there.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
Exactly.
So don't lift your head up. All right. Noted, Sarah.
Thanks.
Nobody's ever going to do that again.
Let me ask you this,
good.
Preston, and so you guys with hair. When I used to have hair, like I get very nervous. I would get very nervous during the shampoo. It felt good and everything, but I'm like, I don't want to move. I don't want to have a Me Too moment. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know where to look. So it's a little uncomfortable. How do you feel during?
love it.
Okay, all right.
I like it. And something you talk about a Me Too moment. There are times. I guess it's just being in that biz. Sometimes you get rubbed all over.
Yeah.
The person working on you.
Yeah.
And it's like they got to do whatever they got to do to move around and to get the places they need to get to. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sit back here and enjoy this for a minute.
There was where I used to get my hair cut, there was a lady who worked at the salon across the street. It was owned by the same owners. And her name's Lynette. And she's such a huge fan of the show. She would come across the street from the salon to wash my hair. That's what she wanted
She would
to
come
do.
over specifically to wash your hair.
She was such a huge fan of the show that she would love to do that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And she worked in a restaurant.
Let me go to this next call. I have Ryan joining us next. Hey, Ryan. Morning, my man.
Hey, good morning. How are we?
Good. How you doing, bud?
Not too bad. On my way to work.
Nice. All right. What do you do, and what do you wish people would stop doing in your line of work?
So I'm a UPS driver, and when you're walking up to someone's house and they ask, what's in the package?
What's in the box?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I have no idea what's in the package. I'm just making the delivery.
Here's what you start. Here's what you do. Start pre-opening them so you have an answer and see how they like that. Oh, it's your Japan.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, so don't ask your driver. Don't ask them what is in the box.
It's your adult diapers.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I'm going to go to, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody named Giggy before. Hey, Giggy, what's up?
What's up, fellas? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Welcome. All right, what do you do, Giggy?
I bartend.
Okay.
All right, and what should people stop doing?
Especially on busy nights, closing out your tab after every drink you order.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think
There's
they're like
much
wishful
worse.
thinking that this is going to be the last one. Do you know what I'm saying, Giggy?
Oh, yeah, that's what they always say. I'll do one more. I'll do one more. And then it turns into 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Let me ask you, Gigi, what's the record for most closed tabs in one night?
Oh, God. I mean, well, the night before Thanksgiving, you usually have, probably 50 plus.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus.
Giggy, have you been noticing it a lot with like younger drinkers now, like Gen Z people who are just starting to go to a bar and they don't realize that it's okay to have a tab open for a while?
Yes, definitely. Exactly my thought. So I'm 37. So when my crew used to go to the bar when we were younger, it was cash. Leave cash on the bar. The bartender came up. They would take it out of the kitty. Kids these days, they just want to use debit cards. They don't have cash, and they just close out after every single Bud Light.
That's absolutely it.
And then they complain that it takes too long, but don't realize that you're closing out after every drink, and that's the part of the problem.
Right, and you're getting a surcharge on top of that $3.50 beer.
Every time.
Good point. It was in your best interest.
Yeah.
All right, Giggy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Some text coming in. That says when we have a seat yourself in the restaurant and they pick the only dirty table to sit at.
Oh.
They want people to stop doing that. Here's another one. As a teacher, I want parents to stop expecting me to raise their children. I teach high school for reference, they said.
Yeah.
This one says, I'm a mother trucker. Cars stop cutting in front of us at lights or on the highway to make your exit. You can die by doing that. That makes total sense.
We have a load of truckers that listen to the show. I've known many throughout my life. Casey, your father he drove a truck.
Yeah.
I give maximum deference. It's a tough freaking job, especially with regular traffic and people who can't drive amongst regular cars, and they're risking their lives and they don't realize, and the truck driver's life.
All right, here's one that says, I'm a plumber and I hate people standing over me watching.
But what if they're just trying to learn? You know,
he doesn't want you to learn because that's his vocation, and he'll do it for you if you pay him. You know what I mean? Or they will.
If you want to learn, you just crawl under the sink with them.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another one said, I would like people to, when they call a place of business asking for information, to have a pen and paper handy instead of telling you to hold on, knowing that they are calling for information. Very annoying. This one says, I work in a bank. Please, for the love of God, stop calling the account checkings.
Just checking.
Checkings account.
Checking. Not plural.
And then one more, it says, hey, as bartender in a craft brewery, I hated when people asked for whatever my favorite is. I like Pilsners, and if they like IPAs, they would complain when I handed them my favorite. I stopped doing that and just got a mad face and would say, no, what I like probably isn't what you would like, and made them pick something by nicely asking them questions.
So let me ask you guys a question, because I like to do this when I go to a restaurant, and let's say there's 2 items on the menu that I can't choose between. I will ask the server, pick one of these 2 and don't tell me what it is. And I just want to be surprised when it shows up at the
That's
table.
kind of fun. I like that.
I like that. But do you think that would be annoying as a server?
No, I don't. I think maybe more annoying as a server would be, which one of these should I choose?
Right.
Because they can say, well, I like this one.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know
watch
what you like.
eat it in my car? I don't know. I don't get as adventurous as you do.
I'm very guilty of which one between these 2, but they probably also will just give you whichever one they have more of in the back that
That's
they're trying
true.
to get rid of.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But Casey, I like that idea. I'm going, I can't decide. You bring me one of these.
Yep.
I like
Can you
that.
go to Tom, Preston?
I can. Hi, Tom. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, it. Good morning, it.
Good morning to see you. What's up, Tom?
No, this is, remember me, Tom, the CPR guy?
Yes.
So I'm trying to teach you guys.
Right. Yes, I know. We haven't taken you up on that. What pisses you off?
When people think I'm going to walk in and start cutting faces off my mannequins, this is not the office. Don't ask me this thing staying alive either. I'm not going to do it.
You're supposed to do it to the tempo. You're supposed to do CPR to the tempo of this song. It's whatever beats per minute that they recommend.
I'm going to choose drowning pool that the bodies hit the floor.
There you go. Now you're talking. All right, Tom. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bud.
Kendrick Lamar is another one of the songs, too.
What song by Kendrick Lamar?
I don't know. I just remember it was that.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow, one more, and then we're going to move on to another topic. I'm going to go to Mike. Hey, Mike. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, man?
So I'm an exterminator in Philadelphia, and I think the thing that bothers me the most is when people have pets, like dog food and stuff, and they don't realize, and I tell them that dog food has, the antidote for the poison, like rodenticide for mice. So a lot of times what happens is, you'll find, kibbles and bits underneath the radiators or, underneath the refrigerator, and they're wondering why they're getting all this mice activity, and they're not dying. It's because they're getting immune to the poison.
Right. Okay. So 2 things. You're leaving food out, which is going to attract vermin to the house. But also, if you're having an exterminator in the house, pick up the pet food. Right?
Yes, because vitamin K1 is in dog food, and that's actually the antidote for most rodenticides.
Get out. So, you're leaving out the poison and the antidote?
And the antidote.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
no
didn't realize
idea.
it. That's pretty
All right,
wild.
Mike. Thank you, man. That's interesting. Okay. You learn stuff on Stacko Topics. All right. 1, 2. This is Stacko Topics. Next on Stacko Topics. All right, so Case, you did solid.
I did. Thank you very much.
I'm going to have you pick again.
Oh my God, again?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When you're on a streak, you go for it.
I'm gonna
you're right.
Fan these out. Like I said, I put some new ones in here. We haven't gotten a new one. Well, we only did one.
This is what they call in basketball terms a heat check, right? So if a guy keeps hitting from 3-point range, you just keep feeding
going.
them the ball, man.
I know there's our program director, Chuck D'Amico, is really crossing his fingers that his topic ends up.
It's a heat check?
Yeah, heat check. Yeah, like a hot hand.
Okay, go ahead, Case.
Oh, no.
No, come on.
This is the one.
Okay.
All right.
Sure. I can't.
Yeah, it feels good.
Just
man.
grab one.
Yeah.
God's sake.
I'm so annoying.
Read it.
All right. Do you wake up your kids in a specific way? Oh, well, okay. So the example is my mom would sing to me in the morning.
That's right. So do you do this, or did your parents wake you up in a specific way? So Casey had shared, and this is why I wrote it down for Chicago Topics. Casey's mom would wake him up like this.
Wake up, sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up. I said, live, love, laugh, and be happy when the red robin comes bobbing along.
Would she pull the covers down? Would she raise the blinds, or what would she do?
No,
or would
she would
just stand at the foot of your bed.
Sing him awake.
She would sing me awake like
all
that.
All of you?
Yeah.
All the kids?
You know what? I don't know if she did that to anybody. I think it was her favorite, which is why she lives with us.
And she'd sing the full?
Yeah. A long, sweet song. I said, I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again.
And at what point would you wake up and you would start singing with her, or what do you think?
It just sort of depended. You know, like I think maybe I would act like I was sleeping, so she would just keep. I mean, that's why I know all those words to that song,
because it was so special.
Yeah. In fact, when I got married, Preston and Steve, you guys were there. You were there.
Yeah.
That's what we danced to. We danced to that song, the first mother.
My father had a very.
I'm gonna cry.
My father had a very similar approach. He'd come in and say, "Drop your C's and grab your socks."
Yeah.
That's how he would wake us up.
My brother. My older brother, when we were in high school together, when he would wake me up for school, it was the exact opposite of that. I would hear him come into the room. He would grab the sheets at the bottom of the bed and just yank them off, you know, and like,
there you go.
And sometimes if I knew it was coming, I'd grab my, you know, we would just have a straight up tug of war.
I have no idea if we'll get any calls on this. 610-660-9333. There are a couple of texts coming in. This one says, my mom would just scream Marissa for 20 minutes and then rip the blanket off.
What about you with your kids? Did you wake them up in a specific way? You were never there. I mean,
no, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was
on the weekend?
We're always here. Nah, the weekend was just like, whatever, roll out of bed, you know. And I don't know how how Rochelle would wake each of the kids up separately. Parker's like the dead.
Yeah.
He's like he's like a zombie. He's impossible to wake up. So I don't know how she handles everybody else.
My girls pretty much get themselves up out of bed now, you know what I mean? And I'm not there when they get up for school in the morning, but, you know, Seamus, he stays up late and sleeps late. Like, so for instance, on Thanksgiving, he slept till at least 2 o'clock. And I went in a couple of different times, and I sat next to him, and I scratched his head, and I gave him a little back scratch. Yeah.
Here we go. This text says, my dad literally woke me up by opening my door, turn his butt into my room, and fart. And that was my alarm during high school. Wow. Casey, Megan says, my mom did the exact same thing, saying the exact same song.
Oh.
That's really sweet.
My mom, she passed away obviously early,
21.
I was 21, but when I can remember her waking me up, she would come in and she would turn on. I had a radio next to the next to the bed. She'd turn on the radio, and it would be like the news. And it was kind of the way I woke up.
My mom would do that too. I remember that as a kid. Turn on the radio, and that would start the whole wake up process.
Getting going,
Here's a text. Marissa, what was the other one you had up there? This is from Chris from Levittown. Says, my hubby's dad would do happy ups, grab you by the big toe and shake it. That was the way they would wake them up. I'm going to go let's go to Katina. Hi, Katina. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you, Katina. All right, so how'd you get woken up?
So when my mom would wake me up, she would create her own song. It was beautiful, very calming. When my dad would wake me up, he would bring a whole boombox and have the soundtrack of Pocahontas. So many times I would wake up to savages, barely even human, and that would be my wake-up call.
Savages? Wow. I didn't even know that was the lyrics of that. Savages, barely even human. That's horrible. Oh, my God. That's funny.
Wow. That's funny. That is funny, though. Did you guys are waking up to this?
No. Which means they must be evil. We must talk.
Oh, that's funny.
Katina, did you enjoy it? Was it fun?
I loved it. I would get right up.
That's great. All right. Thank you, Katina.
Preston, did you send me the video on Instagram a couple of weeks ago where that marching band or the an orchestra came in? What was the scenario there?
So I don't know what the scenario was, Steve, but it was like a drum and bugle corps, and they must have been at a an event or something where they had to stay overnight, and so the band sleeps in the gym, and there's video of them, and I get teared up when I hear it. It's so beautiful. It's the entire brass section.
Yeah,
very slowly they start to play Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka,
which is beautiful,
and it is gorgeous. And the caption says, "Imagine being woken up like this."
Yeah, that's like being the Prince of Zamunda. You know how he would get woken up in the morning.
I know. The royal penis is clean.
Let me go to Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Good morning.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
Oh, Jamie, do it again. You're so good at that. Do
One
it
more
again.
time.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
Hang on.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
It's so spot on. She comes to our blood drive and
she's
says
great.
that. I love it. All right, Jamie, how would you get woken up?
So my mom sometimes did sing to me, and it would just be random. Whatever tune was in her head, she would sing my name. But the cuter thing was she would send my big dog. He was half Black Lab, half Great Dane, so big boys. And sometimes if I woke up prior to her sending him in, I'd hear her at the end of the hall saying, "Come on, let's go wake Jamie." And he would barge in my door, jump on my bed. I mean, he was a big dog, and he would just lick me awake. He was the sweetest boy ever.
And those memories are going to last a lifetime because, I mean, being licked awake by a lovable big dog is wonderful.
Oh, my gosh. He was the best boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he made it till 13, which is pretty old for a big boy.
Yeah, that is. Wow. All right. Thanks, Jamie. Good to hear from you. We'll talk to you soon.
Good to talk to you guys. Have a great day.
You too. I was.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
I was at a friend of mine's house, spent the night, and woke up in the morning. He sent in his German Shepherd.
Yeah.
The dog did not lick me awake.
No?
The dog trampled me and, was not biting. Yeah. Pissed me off is what it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was cracking up. By
My younger brother was a violent ariser. In the
Would
morning.
punch you?
Dude, he would
punch you awake?
So you couldn't get within fist length of him, but he would throw things at you, whatever, Yeah. He's violent, man.
My grandfather, who was down in Florida, used to send in a lioness into the room. And that was bad.
That'll get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Jackie, and we'll do another topic here in just a second. Hi, Jackie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, all right. Are you telling us how you would be woken up in the morning or how you would wake other people up?
Oh, my daughter, she was miserable in the morning, so I tried to come up with a fun way, and I would sing the Tigger song to her. The wonderful thing about Tiggers are wonderful things. The tops are made out of rubbers, the bottom made out of springs. And then I would jump on her bed and bounce her out of bed, and she would actually wake up happy instead of miserable.
All right. If you can, that's wonderful.
That's
that
fun.
You could set someone off on a wonderful day if you wake them up the right way. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
That's cute, Jackie. Thank you. All right, we'll do one more, and I got to go to this one. It's Sherry, who we're going to have on last. Hi, Sherry. Good morning.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? What's up, Sherry?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
My dad would wake me up by dripping water on my face. And if I didn't wake up fast enough, he'd just dump the whole glass.
That's a North Korean prison torture.
Yes, that's exactly what I found out when I got older, That's
funny.
Wow.
I love it.
You know what might be a good wake
Thanks.
up on your alarm is, ever had a jerkmate?
Ever heard of jerkmates? Yeah.
Yo, ever heard of jerkmate?
Somebody texted and said I had a SpongeBob clock that played the theme song when I was younger. My dad would barge through the door and slam the alarm and jump on top of me singing the song as loud as he could. You know what I've always wanted? And I have not been able to find one. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but I've never been able to find one. But you know SpongeBob's alarm clock?
Yes.
It's a horn.
Yeah.
And it's whirr, and it looks it looks like it's like 2 feet tall. And it's an ocean looking horn. I want that alarm clock.
If it
I want it to
exist-
look like that. I want it to sound like that.
Do you know what? Honestly, the train horn that I bought for the camera.
God.
Could you imagine?
Shut up. No.
I need to see what this horn
Could you imagine that?
clock looks like, because if it doesn't exist, a 3D horn, a 3D printer can make that.
We've got. Well, Preston. Sam found.
That's it. You found it. Where is it for sale?
It's on Pinterest.
Okay.
So somebody had it once.
Somebody made it or something like that. All right. Well, I need to get something like that. By the way, I was laughing at Marissa accidentally blowing the horn at my favorite moment of camp out this year.
We need to do a train horn wake up call.
Yeah.
Because
we could give somebody a heart attack.
I've actually ordered 2 more because I promised.
2 more?
I promised to get Mike Jarek one.
Oh yeah.
Because
It's a great gift.
He fell in love with it. And then a second for the show.
All right. Well, anyhow, thank you for joining us for 1, 2. Sorry. 1, 2. This was Stacko Topics. We're done with Stacko Topics. Join us next time for Stacko Topics. All right. Anyway,
Topics.
We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3 WMMR.
Ever a way to do it without, causing a penalty, or is that even in your mind when you're going at that?
Yeah, well, quick story. When I was in Nashville, I was like maybe 22, something like that. And the year prior, I was battling with Yuri Fisher was his name, a big, tall defenseman, 6'6", mean guy. And we were battling, and he kind of twisted his knee. I didn't do anything bad. It was kind of just like a battle in the corner. He's laying on the ice. He tore his ACL, so he missed, 2 or 3 months of the season, half the summer rehabbing. First game back in Nashville, he's like, let's go, off the face-off. I was like, I knew it was coming. And I was like, no, like let's just give it a couple shifts, right? So I can get angry, right? And so the play comes up, because it's kind of weird. Just I didn't really like the setup fights, right? For myself anyway, I had to get, angry, and I wanted to, punch the guy's, head in, right?
Yeah.
So puck comes up, it goes behind the net. I go behind the net skating. He just blows me up, clean hit. Like I'm like on the ground, and then I start flashing red, right? And so we square off. We go like this, and he's a lot bigger than me. And I come in for a punch. He just counter punches me right in my nose. Down I went, and I'm bleeding all over the place. So he got his payback. It was a clean fight. It was a good punch. He got me, and sometimes you got to tip your cap.
And just move on.
Like that,
yeah, especially if he's got like half a foot on you. It's a little much. But yeah, I was curious though, with the pandemonium, and Chuck, our program director, Chuck D'Amico, said he has lots of audio of the overpowering boos. I mean, and he was there last night. Yeah, he was there last night. And I mean, you've seen it all. You've seen reactions. You've seen, the FU response to a player that's just, a particular team or whatever. Rank this last night with the top 5, emotional, angry reactions you've ever seen in an arena.
Yeah, it happens when you have that hatred of a player, right? A guy that says he doesn't want to come to Philadelphia. He's a college kid, 19 years old. I don't want to play here. When he was so pro coming to Philadelphia, when he first got drafted, he totally changed his tune. I didn't like that. I think the Flyers fan responded how they did last year playing him, and it carried over to this year as well, right? And usually you see this stuff against the Penguins, right? Or the Rangers. Sometime, back in the day, Islanders, the big rivalries. But this is like the team that's kind of irks us, right? And it's great to have. You only play them once, which sucks, but it is what it is. But it's nice to have those, and it just gets everyone into the game. That's why you go to a hockey game, right? To feel the emotions, to stand up and cheer for a goal, a big hit. It had literally last night had every single element of the game that you want to go to as a fan. And me talking about it, analyzing it, I was fired up just as much as everybody else.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you know what I really didn't like about it, and because I was reading up on it last night, is he had said, I wish everybody knew like the truth, and I'm like, well, why don't you tell us the truth then? What's going on? Why don't you want to be here? Like, I don't know why you would say something like that and not follow it up with, hey, the reality is X, Y, and Z.
I know he's waiting to write a book so everyone can buy it.
Yeah. You see it in 20 years, you're all going to feel really bad.
Yeah. The other thing
that's a lame thing you say when you want to deflect.
Listen, I don't like that they wore orange last night either. Like, what the hell is all that?
It was tricky, right? There was early in that game, TK connecting, he came across the line and passed it like it was passing to his teammate right to their guy, and he's going the other way against our goaltender. So it was a little tricky. but then you kind of, that was a bad turnover. You kind of figure it out. But yeah, it was definitely tricky to start, I thought, for them.
Scott, do players get talked to by management about what to avoid talking about when talking to the press, or you just kind of left to your own devices to do that?
What do you mean, like just for
these comments that he made were they're not a good idea when he's being interviewed, and I don't know if players ever get spoken to by management about, hey, you may want to back off of this,
No, I think it's, I remember last year, Travis Konechny was all over him after whistles, I can't believe you didn't want to come here. All night, baby. It's coming all night. They were all over and hitting him. As soon as he had the puck, especially, guys were on him, just bumping him, frustrated. And he went into a shell last game. And, he's able to get that first goal when the boos were really loud in that first period. So he kind of shut us up for a hot minute, and then it kind of kept on going at him. So, but no, it is. When you're signed, a TK, when I was in Philadelphia, if a guy didn't want to sign here, it's better off without him. You don't want to, hang around with a guy like that anyway, right? And I said it last year. It's, he probably was given everything when he was 10 years old to probably earlier than that, 5, 6 years old when he started skating to, when he was playing in the development program in Michigan, when he went to college, a high draft pick. He was probably just given the red carpet out every time he wanted to get on the ice. He got on the ice, and I think Danny and Torts, they said, "Hey, you got to earn your spot." This is what I thought or think happened. You got to earn your spot. It's not given that you're going to be on the first line, left wing, playing with our top centers. You have to earn it, right? And if you have to spend some time in the minors, that's kind of, we want to develop you the right way. And he's like, "Oh no, I've been rolled out the red carpet my whole life. I don't want that, right?" And then there's teams that will be like, "Hey, we're going to give you this opportunity." And obviously he's a really, really good player, smart player, and he's had a good rookie year, 20 goals, and this year he's already got 20 as well, just over halfway through the season. So he's backed it up.
Well, how important is you got to have moments like this? I mean, I think of the movie The Avengers when there's the collector's cards of Captain America, that sort of uses a focal point to get everyone united together against an enemy. How much of a match is lit when you have a situation like last night? Because the Flyers have been a lot of fun to watch. They've been, this season, there's an energy, there's something that's there, and everyone's saying it. Regardless of how things play out, we know how we want it to play out. Something like this, to me, is like a second and third wind all wrapped up into one. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like Las Vegas or Vegas Golden Knights when they came into the NHL. They were the misfits, right? They were the cast-offs of their team, and they used that slogan as their kind of fuel to get them to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year in the NHL, right? And I think the Flyers are using that as well too. They've been brutal for 8 years. Everyone's counting them out, and now I think teams are feeling that they're for real, right?
Yeah.
And they've been playing great. They've got great goaltending. Their special teams needs to improve to get to that next elite level, but they're building something here. Danny B, Jonesy, Hilferty, those guys have done one heck of a job kind of, sticking to the plan, right? Not accelerating it because, you have a good half a season. They're doing it properly. And, for guys, they're buying in and they're having a lot of fun. Been around them on that road trip, Calgary, Edmonton. It's goofing around. It's work when you need to work. And that game couldn't have come at a better time, right? You come off a long road trip after the holidays, you're kind of down, but then the crowd got them into it. So that's the great thing about Philly fans, is that they can drag you into that fight even though maybe your body's not feeling it. They did that last night. That was huge.
How hard was the team trying to get Ziggy that hat trick last night? Just to put a pin in it.
Yeah, no doubt. The game was a long game anyway. There's a couple injuries, the fights, and things like that. If he would have got that hat trick, we'd still be there talking about it.
If you had all those teddy bears in Hershey, filling the stadium.
Yeah, the teddy bear toss. Yeah, no, it would have been raining hats for sure. And how happy he was after the game in that interview. It would have been even maybe one more swear in there.
3 F-bombs.
Yeah. So Vladar was named to the Olympic team for Czechia yesterday, and so the Flyers now have 4 players that are going to be playing in the Olympics in February, and maybe more to be announced later. I don't know, but. So they're going to be off for 19 days. What can that do to momentum for a team?
I think it's going to be good for everybody, right? The rest, the season, the schedule is so condensed, right? Where you're playing every other day and back-to-backs thrown in there, so you don't get the rest, right? So, I think especially for a guy like Matvei Michkov, who kind of didn't have the best summer training. There was an injury, I believe, and then he started the season slow. So for him, didn't play last night as well. He got dinged up. So for him, especially a guy that is supposed to be, your ringer, right? Your all-star, blah, blah, blah. He's got to use that as a great 2.5 weeks to push it from here all the way up to here. And even the other guys too. You go away for, 4 or 5 days, get some sun, but it's the middle of the season. Everyone else is training. So, get back to Philly, get in the gym, get skating, feel more comfortable, work on some power play stuff to get better and, use it in the proper way. So I think these kids nowadays, they, probably wasn't like in the back of the day where you just have a lot more drinks than these guys now. So they take care of their bodies a little bit better, but so it's fun to see. But I think they'll where they are right now, they'll definitely be dialed in.
I wanted to ask you, because doing a little research having you on today, totally forgot about Scotty Hartnell Wig Night.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a big thing. I think we even had a few sent over. Do you have a case of those in your house, or do you have your own wig? Did you get to keep one?
I cleaned out my storage room the other day, just going through Tupper, the big bins, and this one wasn't the see-through one. I went in there and there was like bobbleheads from Nashville, wigs from the Wig Night, all this kind of stuff. So I had a good laugh.
Did you just pop it on for old sake, just to see?
Well, yeah, it doesn't really fit my head anymore, my hair, but my son was wearing it for 2 days here when we were playing hockey. I'm Scott Hartnell.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Flyers playing Leafs tomorrow night, hosting Leafs. It's Fish Night tomorrow night. Casey is going to be there.
Yeah, buddy.
Because he's hosting the musical portion.
Yeah, and the response has gotten so big from this that they actually had to move the pregame and postgame concerts to stateside live because the response was so good. And in fact, the venue is really getting behind this as well. So, people that are attending get these really cool Gritty Fish T-shirts, but they're going to be serving split open and melt cheesesteaks. That's named after a fish song. Poor Heart Burgers, Ruby Waves, and a Scent of a Mule cocktails. So, are you a fish guy at all? I don't know. Like, I back in the day, I know like LeClaire was. He was a Vermont guy or whatever. Have you gotten into the band?
I'm not a big fan. I probably couldn't name you one of their songs, but that gives me something to do here today. Is I got a little bit of a drive here coming up, so I'll put them on.
If you take a 3 or 4 hour drive, you can listen to one of the songs.
You can listen to one song. Hey, listen, this one. Listen, Trey is a huge Flyers fan. He's the lead guitarist and singer for the band. Yep. He grew up in New Jersey. He's a huge Broad Street Bullies fan, huge Flyers fan. But there's a song called "It's Ice." Okay, so that'll work for you.
Okay, sounds good. I'll put her on today.
Hey, you know what, Scott? I'm going to bring you into a conversation we had before we got on with you, and we were talking about we were kind of reassessing last year. The past few days, getting back after the holiday and everything. What was your favorite new TV show that you came across in the past year or so? And I'm not sure if you're a big TV guy, if you like a series, or if you're more movie. But is there anything that stood out to you?
I think the one I think I'm naming it right. Nobody Wants This.
Yeah,
that's with the Jewish rabbi.
That was the second season came out. I liked that show. That was a lot of fun. Kristen Bell. Yeah,
it's sort of a rom-com, is it not? A rom-com?
Really cute, and wife
funny.
loves that stuff, obviously, and sometimes I don't get sucked into those ones, but that was cute. And Emily in Paris. I'm going to sound like
we know who controls the remote in your house.
I thought you were going to say like Letterkenny or like Shoresy or something like that.
Emily in Paris.
Yeah, there's not too many hours in the day, right? You got kids, you're going to work out, you go to practice, you go to work at night, and when you do have those off nights, she watches all the housewives crap, and I'm like, I can't get into that. So
so you don't have a particular favorite Real Housewives cast?
No, I don't know. I couldn't name you one person on them. But you know what I'm getting into, actually? I just watched it before Christmas, and I probably sound like an idiot saying this, but Breaking Bad. I haven't seen the show.
Hey, so it's not too late. Listen, I got in on that like maybe 2-3 years ago, and that was like 8 or 9 years after it came out, and I watched the whole thing. It's never too late to watch. That's one of the great shows on television ever, so you'll dig that.
So that's going to be my goal here to get that dialed in here in the next 2026, I guess. So,
What shows are the kids into?
Preston, I thought you were going to talk about jug handles. You guys talked about that this morning again. And
You went through your first jug handle like live on the radio with us.
It's a constant mystery for all of us. We drive in Jersey. Yeah.
Well, what shows are the kids into? Because I'm sure they're on all the time in your house.
Yeah, SpongeBob was a big one at
That's
the
a
end
win.
of last year. And I never grew up. It was a little bit kind of past my when I was a kid, so I was kind of watching this. I'm like, geez, this is like,
it's a great
crazy.
show. Yeah.
The girls love the princess shows and whatnot.
Just like you.
Barbies. Yeah. Hey, now, who was that?
That's great. Nice.
Dirty duck. So what did we watch? So it was Zootopia 2. That was a fun one to watch. Moana 2. Saw that the other day.
How old are your kids, Scott?
7, 5, and 4.
Oh, you're in the thick of it. Yeah, most definitely. It's a great time. I remember my kids like 5 was such a sweet age. That's awesome, man. You're living. That's a great spot to be in.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Thanks.
Nice, excellent. All right, well, listen, we got to run, Scott. Great to talk to you as always. Tomorrow night, like I said, Flyers are playing the Leafs. Casey will be there for the event. You can stop by Stateside Live for the whole thing, and obviously we'll catch you guys on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Say hi to JJ and the crew over there, and we'll catch up with you soon. All right, brother?
Yeah, we'll do. Casey, text me if you guys are coming over. You want to see the studio? I'll give you a little tour of that.
I would love that. Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
All right, Scott Hartnell, guys. Thanks, bud. We'll talk to you. Wasn't expecting Emily in Paris.
That was hilarious.
Was not expecting Emily
But
in
you
Paris.
immediately know who controls the remote.
That's great. I love it. I love it. Right now, though, these have been burning a hole in my pocket. We have not done Survey Says, and I don't know if we've done it this year yet.
Oh, man. A whole year.
Time to get into it. I have a few stories to share with you. Surveys that are done regularly, daily throughout the United States, and we're going to start with this one. It was a poll of 2000.
Thank you, Marissa. Next Thursday, the greatest sorority in the world is 8 Pi, having a Galentine's event at Parks Casino. We're playing what is the most highly charged sexual game imaginable, bingo.
Bingo, yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Listen, man, I host Bag Bingo every single year at my daughter's high school. I did it at the grade school as well. People go crazy for bingo, man.
You know how much I hate board games. I actually like bingo.
Me too.
Because it moves quickly.
Yeah.
And you find out who won quickly. So it's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden inside Parks. Love that place. There's going to be all sorts of prizes, a buffet, complimentary first drink, 21 plus, ladies only. Of course, we're the only gentlemen involved with the sorority. So it's going to be a great time. And I'd like to throw it out to grab 3 people.
Okay.
Plus guests. Callers 8, 9, and 10.
Callers
So call
8,
in.
9, and 10, 610-660-9333. I really need to write that phone number down.
Listen, again, it's disorienting when you're in a seat you haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
But you're doing fine.
All right, so callers 8, 9, and 10, 610-660-9333. Call right now, and we'll do the bizarre file.
Yep.
Oh, that's about
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
And the Bizarre File is brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. They want you to screw the usual and register your nuttiest sled for Preston and Steve's Cardboard Classic. And this is for a chance to win $1,000 cash. Go to WMMR.com for details.
A Michigan woman who went to the hospital fighting for wound up leaving with a piece of her own skull missing, which was lost by the staff and replaced with a prosthetic following a name mix-up, according to a lawsuit.
It wasn't as much a prosthetic as it was a taco shell.
The hospital then tried to make amends by offering her a $25 gas card.
Oh, that's awesome. Listen, you took part of my skull, but gas.
Edna Burton's daughter, Erica, said you threw her bone away, talking about her mom's chunk of skull that allegedly was discarded by staff at Detroit's Ascension St. John Hospital.
Should have been $30.
Burton was admitted for a stroke and required urgent treatment, including a decompressive right craniectomy, which is a procedure that removes part of the skull to relieve pressure on the brain. The surgeon was clear that the skull was to be preserved so that it could be reattached after the swelling subsided, the law firm says. When that time came, the medical staff made a shocking discovery. The hospital had actually lost a piece of the patient's skull. The patient was told that the hospital mixed up her skull with the body parts of another patient who had a similar name.
What, do they keep them in like a big bin?
As a result, Burton was allegedly forced to receive a prosthetic replacement, which lacks crucial benefits from the patient's anatomy, according to the family's team. The chunk of Burton's skull was lost after the hospital mistook her for another patient named Edna Brown. The mom has stopped talking and eating and is now bedbound and suffers from bed sores. The family's complaint, which was obtained by Law and Crime, said that her current health state is a direct result of the hospital's inability to have her bone flap reattached. The medical term for the piece of skull that was removed is bone flap, according to the complaint. So
I've heard about them regenerating basically a similar type substance that they can patch up a hole in a skull with. But you'd think that'd be an important piece you'd want to at least put in an envelope.
Save that.
Yeah.
Save that.
You're going to want to
please.
save that.
A man drove at excessive speeds to evade police officer after he was caught using a sex toy in the back of his car. Mehboob Mohammed
there you go.
was initially spotted by witnesses in Glasgow's Castlemilk. So this was in Scotland.
How you liking that fleshlight?
Mohammed was found half naked with his phone propped up as he committed a sex act on himself.
How's it feel, McBoob?
He was reported to police who later found him in a state of panic. Mohammed went on to drive at excessive speeds, going on the wrong way, and went through a red light as officers pursued him. He pled guilty to public indecency. The court heard that witnesses' attention was drawn to Mohammed's Honda. He was noted to be in the back seat carrying out a sex act with a toy. One witness approached the car to see that Mohammed had no pants, socks, or shoes with his phone propped up as he was watching something. Mohammed said, "I'm waiting on a friend." And the witness replied, "Get out your car, you beastie bitch. I'm taking your picture of your registration."
Get out your car, you beastie bitch?
Yeah. Mohammed.
So he's listening to the Stone song.
Mohammed shouted, "No," and put his pants back on.
No!
And got into the front seat before he drove off.
So he was in the back seat of a stopped car.
Yeah.
All right. So, not good, but not horrific.
He was just being a beastie bitch.
He was being a beastie bitch in the back. The typical McBoob beastie bitch thing.
Police were contacted and traced Mohammed in his car, who was profusely sweating. He continued to refuse to comply and drove towards officers who had to take evasive action. A police traffic stop eventually was carried out, and they got him, and he was arrested. A small plane crashed into a building at Van Nuys Airport after it was stolen from a flight school. A trespassing suspect broke into the LA Flight Academy at about 4 a.m. and took the single-engine Cessna. One person was arrested on suspicion of burglary and theft of an aircraft. It is not immediately clear whether authorities were searching for anyone else in connection with the crash. So when I first read this, I was like, why didn't I see like a big news story about this plane crashing into this thing? Well, I'll explain what happened here. The flight school owner, Anthony Nakreshian, said that he has owned the $450,000 plane for about 3 months. Somebody broke in through the front door, found the keys to the Cessna 172. Video showed the plane crash nose first into a building at the airport, leaving a hole in the side of the hangar. Authorities said the plane did not get off the ground.
Oh, wow.
The propeller was damaged and the engine is no longer operating. The plane apparently was taxiing when the left wing hit a hangar and caused the nose to make a sharp turn into the hangar. He was just driving it forward and ran it into the hangar.
So let me get this straight. This Cessna, which is a fairly common-looking aircraft,
is $450,000.
$450,000?
Yeah.
Wow, that seems heavy.
Ryan's nodding his head. So, yeah, planes are maybe more expensive than we realize.
I have flown a lot of these. A lot of it is like the navigation systems inside. It's got all the bells and the whistles. That's where the money comes in.
I see.
All right, for a fleeting moment on November 26th, the night sky above northern Italy delivered a spectacle so rare that even seasoned sky watchers might never witness it in a lifetime. From his home in Possagno, nestled in the foothills of the Italian Alps, photographer Walter Binotto captured an image showing two of Earth's rarest phenomena, an elf and a sprite that appeared at the same time.
I can't believe I'm saying this in my own eyes.
Elves and sprites belong to a family of electrical flashes known as transient luminous events, or TLEs, which occur high above thunderstorms rather than within them. While ordinary lightning strikes downward between clouds or toward the ground, TLEs ignite the thin air near the edge of space.
They look like a celestial jellyfish.
An elf appears as a vast, ghostly red ring that can grow to be 300 miles across and lasts for less than 1,000th of a second. And they form when a powerful lightning strike sends an electromagnetic pulse up toward the ionosphere, causing nitrogen molecules to glow briefly in red light.
It's electromagnetic.
Their fleeting nature makes them exceptionally difficult to photograph.
Super magnetic. Celestiatic. I don't know.
So sprites, by contrast, often resemble crimson jellyfish or branching tendrils rising above thunderstorms. They are the most commonly observed type of TLA, but they're still elusive, unpredictable, and they last only milliseconds.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, projects like Sprite-tacular invite photographers worldwide to document sprites and related phenomena to help scientists better understanding how thunderstorms interact with the Earth's upper atmosphere.
I mean, it almost looks like the picture was scratched, or it does look like hovering, glowing jelly, something you see in Avatar.
Yeah, and also you look at the big circle around. It's like a giant donut in the sky. So it's rare to capture one on camera, much less two of them at the same time. So this guy managed to catch something that was really, really unique and interesting. So if you get a chance to look it up, it's really cool, worth checking out. And there you go. That's all we have time for in the Bizarre File for you this morning. We're going to take a break to make sure that you are with us.
Preston and Steve.
All 93.3 WMMI. Have you used Alexa as a clock radio?
Common reasons that New Year's resolutions will fail on you. Okay, so 40% of people polled set a resolution for 2026. If you just isolate Gen Z, it's 71%.
There you go.
Which is the highest of any age group. Mine is standard. It's lose weight. It's be more healthy. And I did that again this year. That's the only one. I can't think of... Maybe years past when I was a smoker, it was to quit smoking or something like that. But that's always been the same one for me.
The survey is of reasons why they fail.
Reasons why these fail. But I just started off with people that set, resolutions in the first place.
I think a lot of people set unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
I think that's it. They don't do it as incrementally as they should.
Right.
Maybe reduce smoking or try that way. A lot of people just go hard line, and that inevitably fails.
More than half of them, 52% surveyed, believe that New Year's resolutions are an effective way to reach goals. 2/3 of resolution setters claim to be all in and totally committed to achieving what they set out to do. And another 26% admit that they are not fully committed. Did you guys set any for the year?
No,
Okay.
I haven't set New Year's resolutions in a long time.
Marissa?
I didn't think of it as an effectual New Year's resolution, but the other day I started to think I'm going to once a month try to actually catch up with somebody who I say, let's catch up soon.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I like
somebody I haven't talked to in a while.
So not one of the classic, the smoking and
drinking,
drink, work out,
eating better, exercise,
sleeping around.
having sex with multiple partners at the same time.
Group orgies.
Yeah. Those are attainable goals, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? So I didn't until I'm on an app called Strava. And it tracks your fitness.
Right.
thing. So, when I work out, I port that over to my Strava app. When I go for bikes and runs and swims and stuff like that, that all goes to my Strava app. And then at the end of the year, it kind of gives you your year in review. And so I saw how many days active I was last year, and I want to just beat that.
You want to beat okay?
Yeah, and I had a pretty active year last year, considering I had this thing that happened to my neck at the end of the summer that kept me out of the gym. It kept me off my bike and all that stuff. And despite losing, a good month of activity, I still did pretty good. So I want to top that. I didn't go into the new year thinking, oh, I want to do this or that. But then when I saw that and that came up, I was like, okay, yeah.
Something achievable.
Something achievable.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan Shuttleworth, any resolutions?
Man, last year was tough enough. Like, I just want to go into this year being like, all right, just be a better person where you can and just kind of, coast into it. Just, try and get through it unlike last year.
That's a healthy one. All right. Most New Year's resolutions fail. So why do we break them so easily? These are the most common reasons. So per the survey, and I'll work up to the top one. Feeling too unhappy or fed up, finding it too tiring, realizing that you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Finding it too boring, whatever your resolution is.
The smell of freshly baked cookies.
Number 6, working our way to number 1, is forgetting why you were doing it in the first place.
Why am I doing this again?
Yeah.
Number 5, not fitting in with your routine. Number 4, not seeing results quickly enough. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have had that happen to me before. It was 2 years ago where I wanted to go into a weight loss regimen, and I worked hard for like 2-3 weeks, and I didn't see any results, and I'm like, oh.
What am I doing this
And
for?
then I just fell off.
Yeah.
I fell off of it, and it was stupid. And the following year, I got it together, and I soldiered through and realized that sometimes it's a slow start. And
I've been doing
eventually,
this for 4 hours, and I have seen no results.
and eventually you get to some momentum. Number 3 is you find it too difficult to do. Whatever agreement you made with yourself was just too much.
Like sleeping around.
Number 2, giving in to temptation, obviously. And number 1, just not feeling motivated to stick with it.
I do like the idea of points on the calendar that are definitive. Okay, I'm going to start now.
Yeah.
I think,
me too.
And obviously,
it helps me.
the year rollover is a perfect time to do it.
In years past, I have definitely seen new people at the gym come New Year, and whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, I hope I continue to see you all year long, because I have been that person who showed up, January 2nd, never on January 1st, and then stopped going like a week or so later. But this year, I want to say,
people hanging in there.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen a whole lot of new people. No.
Okay.
Steve, I like the idea of the date on the calendar. I need certain goals to keep me motivated. I'm a list maker too. If I make a list every day of the things that I want to achieve, and I get great satisfaction in crossing that off my list.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing with my goals. I will set incremental goals. I'll have a big goal in mind,
right?
But I have
your way towards it.
Yeah, I have little milestones along the way that I like to hit, and I'll call them small goal, medium goal,
right,
big goal, and then sometimes I even have an ultra goal that I'll put on there, and then I'll give myself a time frame and try to hit those marks, and it helps.
Yeah,
it helps me stay on track.
You have something to stay on. So, and also reward yourself.
Yes.
If you're losing weight, reward yourself with alcohol.
Yeah,
please.
Right.
Yeah, heavily.
But that's why I signed
I'm going to
up.
drink this whole bottle.
That's why I signed up for things like sprint triathlons or 5Ks or even the Bend to the Shore. When I have something that, especially something like Bend to the Shore, which is that it's a long ass bike ride,
or the Olympics.
If I have that on the horizon, then that gives me a reason to get to, or get on my bike or get on into the gym. And, and also anybody who is, there's I don't think it's a book. It might be an app, but it's called Couch to 5K. So if you've never run or anything like that, it is a great tool to use to just get out and get active and do a 5K. So if you see a 5K in your future, Phillies do a 5K in March, and if you see something like that, sign up for it and then get the app Couch to 5K, and it'll kind of coach you along.
Steven, you talk about giving yourself rewards. That's key. I have daily rewards.
Sure.
But I don't get to take advantage of those until I finish everything on my list. And then when I'm done, I can smoke a little weed.
So that's for me is the intermittent fasting. I hit my mark, and then I make sure. Case, I read a book that's really good called 5K to Couch, which is awesome. It's a lot easier, I found, and I've hit all my goals.
All right, another survey topic for you. This is a survey of 5,281 U.S. adults, and the question was, where do you most often dispose of your fingernail clippings?
Oh, trash can.
Trash can?
Yeah.
Okay, so you generally do it over trash can.
I try and do it over the trash can.
Steve, toilet. Marissa, do you have a spot where you deposit your clippings?
Toilet.
Yeah, I'm toilet as well. Ryan, where do you get rid of your clippings?
Trash can for me.
Trash can. Okay. Number one on the survey is trash can. In fact, overwhelmingly so. 73% of people dispose of their clippings in trash cans.
We're the loose cannons.
We are.
Yeah.
But we're second. So not too bad. Oh, but only 7% of people use the
You
toilet.
know, though,
It's just convenient
dispose
for me.
of poop in the trash can.
Wow, that's radical.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I try to clip my fingernails. The toenails, I think it's done at the salon, you know what I'm saying? But my fingernails, I tend to clip.
I clip mine at home.
But if I don't clip my fingernails, what I'll wait to do is wait for them to get soft in the shower and then bite them because they come off better that way. And then I'll do them in the shower.
So you just chew them up in the shower?
So, not all the time, but
Okay.
if that's so the only two places for me, trash can, shower.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the other place I put them. Behind the couch.
Behind the couch.
Yeah. Rochelle loves that. Did you just flick your...
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been back there?
Why are you hanging out behind the couch?
That's when I'm, but I'm not actively clipping. That's when I'm like, I'm gnawing on my nails and we'll flick them back.
What about
there.
the scabs?
The scabs are back there too. Same spot. No problem.
It's a no man's land behind your couch.
But the toenails, Casey, I know you go to a salon for your toenails. I do it old school.
I put my foot up on the toilet seat and I clip the toenails.
So I do it while I'm sitting on the
Yeah,
toilet,
yeah, yeah.
maybe taking a dump, and I will clip the nails. I'm knocking two things out at the same time, and then I just scoop them up off the floor and throw them into the toilet.
So I put my foot up on the toilet seat and I have the
trash can behind you,
me, and I take a dump into that.
Makes sense.
Press, you are not down with going to get pedicures, right?
No, I don't like it.
All right.
I had one time. I hated it.
Because my pedicurist, she left but she traveled.
What did you do to her?
I didn't do anything to her. She just wasn't happy with where she was, and now I'm gonna have to go up to your neck of the woods because she's in freaking Lansdale now.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to travel that far?
I told her I would. Not all the time. I cannot go to. She's at Hollywood Nails on Main Street in Lansdale. So
she's your gal.
She's my gal. Listen, anybody who lives in that Lansdale area, if you want to get a great pedicure, ask for Yen. Her American name is Lisa. Ask for Yen or Lisa at Hollywood Nails on Main Street in Lansdale. But
she does your manicures and your painting and all that stuff.
I don't do manicures, pedicures.
Pedicures.
Yeah, she does all that. But she's really listen. I get.
Why won't you do a manicure if you're doing?
I've done manicures because I don't need them. You know, and like I really like the foot massage at a pedicure.
Okay, it's the foot massage thing that really draws you.
But then also. I get ingrown toenails on both of my big toes, and Yen really gets in there. And
You son of a bitch.
It hurts, but it's like a weird pain that I like at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but they make you cry, pussy.
And I know we've talked about it before, but we should revisit it. You know, the distance you will travel for a service.
Yeah.
From an individual who is, either it's a haircut or something along those lines, but it's worth it for you for whatever reason.
Yeah, so the lady who cuts my hair with regularity, her name's Jackie, and she lives in, I'll give you her exact address. No, she lives in Westbrook Park area. And she used to cut this guy's hair who was a priest at Holy Cross, which is right there. He's now in Vineland, New Jersey, and he travels from Vineland to Clifton Heights.
You go with what
get
you
his
know.
haircut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so by the way, number 2 is toilet, where you deposit your fingernail clippings. Number 3 is outside. Number 4 is in the sink. Number 5 is I leave them where they fall. 3% said that.
Very cavalier.
6% said I never clip them. Wow, okay.
Oh, some people.
Do you know I get rid of my old mail in the toilet as well?
Wow.
Yeah.
How long does it take for a nail to decompose, right?
I don't know. You would think a while.
Right?
It's keratin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it sticks around for a long time.
Okay, thanks, Lamarus. Our next guest, you know him, you've seen him, especially around the holidays. I know you see the hell out of him. Super talented, many movies. Elf, Friday, Couples Retreat. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. Great stand-up. You know him, you love him. Faizon Love. Hey, Faizon, how you doing? How's it going, man?
Good.
I wanted
Glad
to.
be here.
Yeah, you're at the City Winery tonight, which is a great comedy venue here, and that's one show, 7:30 p.m. I should have mentioned that up on top, but tickets are available at citywinery.com. Are you out on an extended tour, or are you just picking dates here and there?
Picking dates here and there, because I took a year and a half off just to hang out with my daughter. I'm a 6-year-old, and So now I'm going back. It's re-entry.
Was it one of those cases that a 6-year-old, it seemed good on the beginning, and then after a while, it's like, I need to get back.
Maybe Daddy got to get to work.
Let me ask you, because I was mentioning the holidays and coming through that, and I feel like I saw you 250,000 times, and you're in so many great movies, and you're a scene stealer. That's kind of your MO. But in Elf, I mean, round the clock, do you notice like a seismic shift in your recognition factor around the holidays?
No, I mean, Elf broke. There's people that know me from Elf and don't know me from Friday.
Really?
Yeah, that don't. It's like they're all separate entities. Like, there's people that don't know that the guy from Elf is the same guy from Blue Crush.
Blue Crush.
Yeah. It's funny because you are a bit of a chameleon. A Big Worm in Friday was just one of the great characters. And this, I was doing some research and my jaw hit the floor. Is this true? You only paid like $2,000 for that role?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, have you since tried to renegotiate? Because everyone knows Big Worm.
Well, that's one of the things in film, especially back then when it was film. You don't know. They're just it's really art, and the success is accidental.
Yeah.
So it's not like they go, I'm going to put my whole. It's like they're especially with black cinema. It's not. It's not a definite. It's not like a Marvel movie now. Big put $250 million for the food budget. This is this budget was very minuscule, and it was done with just pure talent.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like you're happy to be working. So, plus I was on probation, so I needed it.
Oh, my God.
I'm an actor. Look. See, I'm an actor. It worked to me. I'm like, yeah. But now, in hindsight, I did the movie when I was 23. So I'm 57 now. So you're happy for the success. Like, they're talking about doing another one. I was like, I don't know. We're all old.
Yeah, I know, but like as a viewer, as a fan of the movie, Big Perm, I mean Big Worm, like you start to identify with the characters, and we as viewers have also gotten older. So you're curious, like, okay, like, well, what happened to these characters? And it's funny, man. We're talking about this movie. I'm like, we've had so many of those cast members in our
studio. Yeah,
in our studio. We've had Ice Cube in here a couple times. Chris Tucker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who do you call it? Ice Cube's dad. What was his name?
Oh God. Oh, great. Oh, terrific. Yeah. All right. So it's funny though. To Casey's point, it gets locked in time, and we see like whether you be Elf, and we as the consumer who view the movie, it's like, well, that's always the way he is. I have to ask you, did you get to keep those blue curlers?
No, but they sell them everywhere. In any liquor store in America, in California.
I like that you went liquor store over Sally Beauty.
Sally Beauty and the liquor store. Yeah. It's like,
correct me if I'm wrong, Faizon, but you consider yourself, and you're sort of an Army brat. You were San Diego and New Jersey. Navy brat. Okay.
Navy, okay.
And so where were you in Jersey?
Newark.
No. Okay.
Oh, that's a lot like San Diego.
It's just like San Diego, but different.
Yeah. It does have water. Yeah.
So how much time were you there? Yeah. and battles. How long were you there?
I think we were in Newark for till I was 3.
Okay.
And then we went to San Diego. My father was shipped to San Diego. My father was on the Kitty Hawk.
Wow.
Then he went to the Von Richards. But yes, when we was in Newark, he was out. He was in Vietnam.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Then when he
And then you're in San Diego, and you started stand-up, and I was reading about this, and I didn't realize you started this young. You were like 14, 15 when you started stand-up?
Yep. Yes, I did. Yep.
How were you getting into clubs?
Oh, we only had one club, eventually two, the Comedy Store. And I would stand outside. You stand outside until on potluck night. And then they said, okay, it's your turn. And you go in, go directly to the stage, go right back out. And it wasn't until Pauly Shore, who's still a good friend of mine, he's like, dude, you don't have to stand out there, man. You come in here with me. I'm like, are you crazy? He's like, bro, we're good. My mom owned the joint. So when Pauly Shore came in when I was 15, 16, I would hang out in the club. And,
we were talking about the Tuesday, the legendary Tuesday night at the Comedy Store. And
that was the Hollywood store.
Yeah.
I started out at the La Jolla store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my name's on both. Yeah, Fat Tuesdays is what they
right.
I know Tuesday. They would call it everything after black movies. Black people come to town Tuesday. Emancipated Tuesdays.
Emancipated Tuesdays. Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
They were guy tour because a lot of the black comedy was done in we call it South of Pico, like Comedy Act Theater. I know you guys, this is too deep for you. Anyway,
Yeah.
So Guy Torrey started Fat Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We just had Guy on. We just had, there's a documentary about it, and I watched it.
I was supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
They mentioned it about it, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you talk about the luminaries, your contemporaries when you were doing comedy.
Oh, my God.
Some of the best in the business.
Oh, my goodness. It was, listen, and Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Was, and they don't even, because like I said, I was doing the main room back then because I started young.
Yeah.
So Sam Kinison, Mark Brazil, who created that 70s show. I mean, there's so many. Then you have Bernie Mac.
God.
Is that how you ended up on Bebe's Kids?
Because they saw me. I would tease Robin Harris, who created Bebe's Kids. Robin Harris created Bebe's Kids. He used to do this joke called Bebe's Kids, and I would tease him in his own voice. And the producer's like, "Yo, we doing a movie." Reggie Hudlin and Warren Hudlin, they were, we're doing a movie, a live action of Bebe's Kids. I mean, we're doing a cartoon. Could you do it? They're originally going to do a live action. And then they switched to a cartoon. They were like, could you do the voice? So I did the voice over the phone, and they were like, you coming down, up to Hollywood and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And the history. But yes, a lot of people don't know I did that. People think that's Robin Harris. That's actually me.
Okay. Hey, Faizon, your show is tonight at 7:30 at City Winery.
I got we're real dead right there.
Well, I want to ask.
Anyway.
I want to ask where you are right now, because I'm looking at your background, and I couldn't help but notice you got a little Parliament Funkadelic background going on right
there.
Yeah,
with George Clinton right here. George Clinton.
He's popping and locking. He's got the album cover for Mothership Connection. This song's not on that album, but where are you right now?
I'm in Philly.
Oh, you are in Philly.
Look at that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're not going to have much of a commute then for the show tonight. That's cool.
I'm hovering in space.
Have you ever seen George Clinton in concert?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. The thing with I'm talking to him is like, after you talk to him, you're convinced he's from another planet.
Yeah, right.
And nothing else gives it away.
I was like, first you think, guys been like, and he says stuff that I'm like, what? because he adds the whole algebra into it and all that other stuff. Like, what the hell is he saying? And you're sitting there going, am I?
He's
His
amazing.
words just got me high.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really amazing. I was him and Cube did a record called the Bop hit him with the bop gun. I met him there, and then MC Breed and the Cube and them did a song called Paint the White House Black. And this one just like, wow. I mean, it was crazy.
Let me ask you, you're talking about the time, you've seen some of the people like the Kennisons and George, you've seen a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Do you remember anyone in particular who you just said, this is, besides, Clinton and that you just said, this is an otherworldly talent, like someone who just floored you from the get-go?
It's been a couple of those. Guy named Lance Crothers. I met him in New York City. You ever heard of Pootie Tang?
Yeah.
That's Pootie Tang.
Really?
I remember, believe it or not, watching Chris Rock. And I've known Chris Rock for years. I mean, you just, and watching him later work out his material, and I go, yeah. And I was more acting then, and I would get on stage and I wasn't so serious. And I said, yeah, this is amazing. He was so meticulous and such a scientist with it. And he still is. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna quit.
He was that good, he made you want to quit.
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah,
really.
I stopped doing stand-up, and I'm gonna tell you, funny, I stopped doing stand-up for like 4 or 5 years. And one day he says, what are you doing, man? He came to me out of the blue at the Comedy Store and says, what are you doing? You're being lazy. Why are you not getting back on stage? I said, because you exist, mother. And he goes, no, Faizon, no. And he convinced me to get back on stage, and that's why I'm on stage right now.
Nice.
Okay, and so what you're touring? Are you working new material, or what can people what can people expect to see tonight?
Now, I put a special. I call it a test special on YouTube called. Can you say bitch?
Yeah, you can say bitch. Yeah.
Faizon, yeah, bitch, please. And people really like it. So yeah, I've been doing since 15. So now I call it the Chris Rock pep talk. I've got serious with it, and I'm having so much fun. It's a discipline. It's like kung fu.
Yeah,
you trading off. Being on.
You're doing your kata.
Look at you.
I watched a lot of Bruce Lee.
Oh man.
No, it's good. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's more of a discipline, and it's because you get lazy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then you get now the comedy field is congested. It's like the airport.
You're at City Winery is a great environment. Handles stand up very well. You're going to have a good show tonight. It's at 7:30. Tickets are available at citywinery.com. When was the last time you were here, Faizon?
I haven't been to Philly in, I've got to say, about 10 years.
Okay.
Well, welcome back.
Last one was and it was always great shows. Helium.
Yeah.
That was they're great. And then, of course, with Charlie Mack doing his they still do that, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, listen, it's become a comedy town. 10 years has been too long, so people can get the chance to see you if you've loved the multitude of things that Faizon has been involved with, and just again, a stand-up veteran and a legend. Get your tickets to see him tonight at City Winery. Faizon, can't thank you enough for being a part of the show today.
No, thank you. Thank Philly. And you know what? Can we make it a little colder?
Yeah. Oh, you should have been here last week, man.
Yeah. Warmed it up for you.
This is shorts weather compared to last week, man.
Everybody was saying, get rid of ice. Yeah, get rid of the ice.
All right, Faizon, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Faizon Love, everybody. You know, he's one of those guys, you see the face, you go, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
I mean, you've seen almost all of him.
Yeah.
Like almost every inch of him on screen.
Uh-huh.
Well, Couples Retreat. You remember that?
Yeah, you guys like that. It's not that I don't like that movie. I don't know that movie as well as you guys do.
So what it is, you have Jason Bateman, you have, Vince Vaughn, you have Jon Favreau, you have a whole bunch of, Malin Ackerman, Kristen Bell. They're all in there.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't work as well as it does, but it's also one of the most magnificent locations for a movie. I don't know where
Was
the
it
hell.
like Tahiti or
It's
Fiji
gotta
or something
be.
like that?
Do you know what it is,
I
Marissa?
looked it up because it's Bora Bora.
Okay.
Because then I was looking up where Blue Crush was filmed, and that was in Oahu. So, I mean,
Wow.
I don't want to brag, guys, but we get to go to Clearwater Beach in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
Bora Bora is one of those that has one of those on the water resorts where there are the cabins or the cabanas or whatever you have. You have your room and it's over the water and it's out extends that. I think it's actually in the shape of a heart.
Yeah.
The problem is the travel time to Bora Bora is hellacious.
It honestly keeps me away from a lot of, like I would love to go to New Zealand or Japan or,
That's it for me.
My sister and her family just went to Egypt, and I have no interest in going there. But like, she was telling me about the travel coming home. I'm like, no,
Dude,
thank
that's
you.
why. That's why
No.
I think if save up as much money as you can in your life, and if you can crazy rich Asians it over the way that they, I don't know where that what airline that was, but mother of God, where you could actually get like a bed,
right? Last year when we did the Clearwater trip, I was in Italy, the week prior, and so I had to come back, and I was so concerned about. Well, being awake on the plane on the flight home, because it was like a 9-hour flight, just with like layovers and stuff like that. But like doing that, and then also being able to fall asleep once I got to Clearwater, and getting up and doing the show, I was so concerned about all of that,
and it keeps you awake.
And,
it's like telling someone not to think don't think of a rhinoceros. You're going to think of it, and that is the worst because I used to do that all the time when I was traveling for stand up. Yeah, and if you were doing like a red eye or something like that. I just can't do it.
Right.
That's why I think if I were to have, that, what is it, $30,000 seat, it's just, the stuff of fantasy. But if you had a full bed and you had, this, I can't get comfortable.
But like flying there wasn't as big of a deal because I was like,
it was the back.
Well, because I knew what time I was going to land there. I was like landing in the morning or the afternoon or whatever it was. I was like, okay, so my goal is to fall asleep on this plane so that when I get there, I can hit the ground running and be rested. And then,
Have either of you ever taken, like a sleep aid for
No. So melatonin works for me to fall asleep, but not to stay asleep. So I'll fall asleep like that, but I'll wake up 45 minutes to an hour later and be wide awake. And I'm actually kind of afraid of Ambien because I hear people hallucinating or going bonkers on it,
hijacking the plane.
Solo on the plane, there's nobody to kind of like keep you in check. That's a little scary. Steve, I usually just do the red wine diet.
Oh,
where I just
that
drink
works.
a lot of red wine. It worked when I went to Italy. I was by myself, but my friend and I went to Portugal and we made friends with the staff that was serving, and they were just having so much fun with us. They kept hanging out, and we woke up. We did the thing where we said we'd sleep on the plane, we'd land there, and it'll be great. We'll get going. No, we passed out on the beach when we got there.
Yeah.
Wasted the whole day.
See, I don't drink. I'm always wildly alert.
Will you take a sleep aid on a plane if you need to?
No.
Okay.
I have to rely on comfortability and listen, if someone came up behind me like a trained veterinarian and gave me whatever they're giving the larger dogs to sleep on the flight, maybe. But I'm not a fan of being, especially you bring up the notion of you don't have someone there. Now I'll have Claire with me when I'm going to travel, obviously, but I don't like that. What did I do?
Yeah.
Because I've never had that. I don't want to have that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those guys like Preston's multitude of stories of taking a dump in the aisle mid-flight or having to have zip ties on your wrists because you'd be turned into a raving lunatic.
So the hardest thing for me about flying back from Italy to Clearwater to Tampa was I had a horrible night's sleep. the night before, because I told you guys the story last year, but we stayed in basically the Shining Hotel in somewhere near Venice, Italy. This hotel was scary.
Right.
It was hot. We had to close the windows because there were bugs, and so I got maybe a half hour sleep, and then I had to catch a cab at 3:00 in the morning, Italy time, and then do a labor. So I was pretty wiped out when I got here.
What was this? What was the Kyle story?
Oh man, yeah. So
this is an exact example.
When we drove across the country, and then flew home.
Yeah.
He went to a dispensary. He got some edibles, for a flight home.
Right.
The edibles he got were 50 milligrams.
Is he a nervous flyer?
I don't know.
All right.
But in Arizona, because that's where we went. It's legal, and so he legally purchased this. And I remember,
is 50 milligrams?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So, and I remember we were sitting in the terminal, and he's about to eat one. I go, "You're not going to eat that whole thing, are you?" He's like, "No." And so he bites it in half. So now he's taking 25. 25 of it is still a decent amount.
All right.
And then I walked away, and he just gobbled the rest. So he did end up eating all 50 milligrams, right?
And what was he like?
Well, the flight was not full. I mean, it might have been 25 to 30%. Capacity at this point.
Right.
And so I'm I put, listen, when I get on a plane, I throw my headphones in and I'm out. And I wanted to sleep the way back. And Bam, he's tapping me. He goes, and he's pointing to his ear. So I take my headphones out and he's like, "Do you hear that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking?" And then you just hear over the loudspeaker, "If anybody knows a passenger named Kyle, could you please come to the back of the plane?" So it's me, Bam, and Cuz, Anthony Gargano. And we're like, "Are they talking about our Kyle?" So we go to the back of the plane.
Yeah.
And sure enough, just outside of the bathrooms of the back of the plane, Kyle is laid out on the ground, flat on the ground in the aisles, and white as a ghost.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and
Jesus Christ.
I'm looking at his eyes. I'm like, what in the F is going on right now? And then the flight attendants are like, are you with him? I'm like, yes. And did you?
He's pregnant.
He's pregnant. Yeah. Just leave him be. And then they were asking me questions well, did he take anything? And I'm like, listen, I'm of the mindset of they need to help him.
They need to know.
They need to know everything. And as far as I knew, he didn't have anything on him, but I was like, yes. I'm like, he took an edible, and was he drinking? I'm like, as far as I know, he was not drinking.
Right.
But dude, it was scary.
Of course.
You should have seen his eyes. I was like, what is going on? I didn't know if he was having a stroke. I didn't know what was going on. But, apparently, eventually, what had happened was he was, fiddling with the door to get out of the bathroom and just got super lightheaded and boom, passed out. Almost like Tommy Boy fell out of the bathroom.
I'm sure. See that again.
But he didn't get in any trouble.
No.
You know what I mean? They just gave him some water. They, tended to him.
I'll guarantee you with the edible situation, a good friend of ours, Steve McLean, who wrote actually a stand-up act, a performance about encountering one he was at a wedding, and they had to basically gurney him out of the reception. Because it gets away from him.
That happened to him?
That happened to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and so also what I was unaware of is at altitude, that stuff can take even more of an effect.
Yeah.
So what I thought he was taking with 25 ended up being 50, which is a lot on the ground. At sea level, that's a lot.
I want to ask, Ryan, you were, how many years were you actively working as a pilot or flying?
I was active for 2.5 years.
2.5 years. So we assume there is an incredible amount of restrictions in place for what you... what are you absolutely forbidden from going near in the realm of cold medicine or?
Oh, Steve, I was a daily Zyrtec taker, and I still am. When I was going through flight school and going through my medical stuff, I had to switch to another allergy medicines because there was a 1 in 100,000th chance that I could pass out in the air. So I had to switch medications for that. I mean, it is hyper fixated.
What if you're just feeling under the weather?
It's dicey. It's a dicey situation. Like you should be medically grounded for things like that.
Who reviews that?
I mean, the worst that, just speaking in my case, the worst that I ever had, I had a sinus infection that I had no idea I had until I was flying a little single engine airplane. I was coming into land.
Yeah.
And with the pressure change, it felt like a pin was going through the back of my, kind of like with a migraine, but it was so bad. I had to like abort the land. Luckily, I had another pilot with me, and they took the flight controls, and it was brutal. So
unfortunately, that other pilot was Kyle.
Yeah, but
He took a 50.
yeah. I only did my 25 for that flight, but it's very restrictive. Like if you are feeling under the weather, I don't know what the higher grades for these airline pilots are, but like you should really take it seriously.
I'd be scared. I mean, I've always contended that if you've ever locked your keys in the car, you should not get a pilot's license.
Right.
Yeah. That would be a litmus test. So if you've gone somewhere and forgot something, no. But I wouldn't want to place that faith in myself to be that.
That's why I trust other people. And I'm like, you guys went through school, and I'll just trust that you guys straight A's. But so that trip, that we drove across the country to Phoenix because the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. They ended up ultimately losing to the Chiefs. But I wanted to point out the fact that today is the 8th anniversary of the Eagles' first ever Super Bowl victory against the Patriots.
And here we are back at the Super Bowl.
Here we are getting ready for the next Super Bowl. I cannot join you on that. But 8 years ago today.
It was what a miraculous thing. In fact, Preston was out. You remember leading up to it. The celebration for that.
So you're saying this is not a good time of year for Preston?
And we were talking about the flu and all that stuff and what he might have had, but it was. But then when he came back and everything was together. So let me ask you.
Yeah.
First parade or second parade?
Second parade was better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed first parade for a lot of. Other reasons. It was the first one ever. I think just because of the location of where we were for that second parade. The first parade was awesome, but we were all the way at the end. And also, if you remember, I don't remember, was it really cold last year?
It was bitterly cold.
It was bitter cold, but we were at the Cambria Hotel, so we had the lobby right there at our disposal.
Mm-hmm. You know what I remember? There was a different kind of elation, that happened with that.
Yeah.
And to be... there was such a can't believe it was happening vibe.
Right.
They were both fantastic. I mean, those are two. It's funny because as joyous and as ebullient and as thrilled as we were, this year I could give a rat's ass about the Super Bowl.
I don't care. Yeah, my daughter was asking me about it last night. We're like, hey, are we going to my brother's house?
But I mean, like more so.
Yeah.
Like there's years when I'm always like, I think it's almost a knee-jerk reaction to we've just been at the pinnacle, and I think I'm like I have less than normal. Like I just to me it's just a thing.
When you ask me to compare the two, whether you compare the two Super Bowls or the two Super Bowl parades, it's almost like and I can draw the parallel between being a father, right? I love all my kids equally. I love them differently because they're different kids. And so I think the Super Bowl victories and the Super Bowl parades, I love equally but differently.
Yeah.
Because they were different. Like that first Super Bowl 8 years ago today, it really did come down to that last play, although it was highly unlikely that they were going to catch. They would have to caught a Hail Mary pass and then get a 2-point conversion just to tie it and to turn,
Yeah.
And then the absolute bloodbath blowout last year. Like those were like it was so much, it was, just easier on my heart last year, like kind of going into halftime.
Yeah, no, I think comparing the two, the first one was just so special because we hadn't been there before.
No.
But for the second one, for us, we'd been there.
Yeah.
And I noticed it going to Broad Street after the NFC Championship and realizing that we were going. I mean, everybody around us, it was new, it was fresh. And then when I went a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, I'm just kind of watching everybody else enjoy it. I've been here, this one's yours.
Do you know what's so wonderful about
special.
this, the obviously the Super Bowl and the first parade is that we were up in that, we had this, how many floors up were we, Marissa? Like
probably like 15 or 20 floors up, yeah.
View of the parkway there. Yeah. Everyone was settling. In your right case, we were at the sort of the ass end of the run. But they had the monitors set up. They were playing the game back while we were on air broadcasting.
Yeah.
And so you were hearing stadium, a couple of stadiums full of people reacting to the game as it was being played.
As if it was playing.
being played live.
Yep.
And it was astonishing. It was amazing.
Yeah, that year we were on the Parkway, so we were kind of at the end of it. Everyone was collecting to see the speeches, but last year we were in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And we were actually getting to watch the guys down Broad Street. We were close to like Broad and Locust. And I always hear about the idea that it's never not people cheering around them. Like, the cheering just kind of climbs down the street, and it starts at one block and it keeps going the other block. And then after they've moved on, it dies down and the crowd starts to move along. But for them, they just get cheering for like
the whole way.
3 hours straight.
I've never had a greater understanding of how, for example, like the Who concert in Cincinnati and a crowd crushing, or who is the rapper? The outside.
Are you talking about Travis? Not Travis Kelce. I was going to say Travis Kelce. Travis Scott. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, the dynamic of that. But being in that crowd, and I'm a bigger guy, so but still, the motion of a crowd that is locked. And when I left the hotel, and I said, this was anticipation of them coming right by the hotel. I went out the front door and went to the right. 30 yards at most.
Yeah.
It took me about 40 minutes to get to that corner, to move through that crowd.
Yeah.
Because it becomes this, it's almost like quicksand. You can't move. The thing that I remember I was simultaneously thrilled and terrified because there were kids in the crowd too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's almost like that lemming effect. Like, you don't have to travel that way, and so and I've definitely fallen prey to that, especially like if you go to like New York City. Everybody, like you get into like Penn Station. You know, usually I take the train in, and you want to head to Times Square, and everybody goes like the most traveled route, right?
Yeah. They figure that's the way to go,
right? And that is a way to go. It's not the way. So what I like to do, and what I did at the Super Bowl parade last year, is I just ducked off a couple of streets away, right? So it's the same thing in New York City. You don't have to go where everybody else is going. Make a right, go down a couple of blocks, and then you could just walk parallel to the way everybody else is walking.
As you guys were talking, I just felt this new wave of joy. A reminder, though, of the maybe 48 to 72 hours after the parade, and our feeds were just filled with videos that would start to come out. And it was, the ball boy who wasn't part of the parade, and Saquon just walks over and pulls him over the fence and brings him in, or it's somebody chugging a beer, or it's Howie taking a beer to the face.
The drone footage.
The
Howie taking the beer to the face. But that drone footage that came around City Hall, it was just a sea of people, and so many people that I actually didn't know where in the city that was. I thought it was like art museum, but it wasn't until they pulled back. I'm like, oh my God, that's City Hall.
Yeah. And most of those people didn't even see parts of the parade.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about being in a crowd. If I'm in the crowd there, I'm just seeing like a couple people on the edge of the bus, but it didn't matter. Well, it was that joy around you.
It was amazing, and we're not going to have that this year.
No, and that's okay. But that's okay. That is okay. Listen, at least
it's okay to have a pause.
Ripped off the Band-Aid early. They ripped off the Band-Aid early, and I didn't have to, because it would have hurt more had they gone further. For at least me, I can only speak for myself, but it would have hurt more had they gone further.
Yeah, we've been there. So, all right, a little bit of a look back 8 years ago today.
Yep.
And we still have some more show to get to, but we'll take a break right now. We'll be back in just a bit.
Said somewhere else, and 8% said they're not sure. I don't know what I forgot. Yeah. All right, so there you go. Another survey. This was a poll of 2,000 smartphone users and owners. 47. This is the top phone habits that people want to kick. They hope to kick. So 47% said they really want to spend less time on their phones in general this year. The average person spends 3 hours a day on their phones. Wow. And for Gen Z, that jumps to over 5 hours.
Stop and think about that. Stop and think about how connected we are now, and it just makes you feel terrible if you find yourself doom scrolling. It's just sucks the life out of you.
But part of it too is like a text. Like if you get a text, are you supposed to stop everything you're doing and respond to that? Or can you prioritize that and say, I don't want to be on my phone right now. I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up.
I want to get off my phone and get onto my computer and visit Pornhub.
Well, and scrolling is part of it as well. But yesterday, like we had Crystal Marie on, and she posted pictures of being here in the studio and everything. And I went through and I looked at them, and then I started looking at the comments, and she was responding to every single comment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is a lot of time.
It
That
is.
is a lot of time out of the day. Now, she's got a different work schedule than we do.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe I would have more time if I was doing comedy at night and pretty much my days were kind of open.
But also that is kind of work for her, right? So when you engage
That's a
with
good
people
point.
who engage with you, it helps gain, followers and all that stuff.
I don't really respond to the ones if I don't post that often on social media, but I posted one the other day. I got a lot of responses. They're great. I did read them, but the idea of going through and responding to every single one it's too much of a time suck.
Well, and for her, it could sell tickets.
Yeah.
If someone's like,
Sure.
you're in town, you respond personally, that person's going to go out and buy tickets.
So according to the survey, nearly a third of respondents, 31% admit that they check their phone within 10 minutes of waking up every day, and another 30% do it most days. Almost a quarter, 23%, have already tried to do a digital detox, but that lasts less than a day.
I wonder
for 18% of them.
In the pecking order of things and habits to kick, and we know how a nicotine habit compares to a heroin habit and an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Where does an addiction to tech, to your phone, where does that fall?
Well, so for me, I know it's harder when I'm here, but like when I did my trip to the Grand Canyon, when I had no choice, there was no cell signal. It was so easy and it was so refreshing.
Sure.
But here where I don't have that,
That's when you got
ripped away from me.
Lost and were able to survive on some beans. You kept
Thank
in a
God I put
flashlight.
the beans in the flashlight, Steve. Yeah, I told you that story.
It's a great story.
So these are the top 10 habits that people hope to kick in 2026. Number 10, using their phone to check the time, then getting distracted instead of just wearing a watch. Number 9, scrolling on the toilet. Number 8, checking their phone during conversations. Yeah, that's bad. Number 7, downloading apps that they never use. Number 6, they want to kick the habit of forgetting or taking a long time to reply to messages. I do that too, especially if I get a message and I'm in the middle of something. I get a text message, I glance at it, and I'm like, this is going to take more time than I have right now to answer this, so I'll get back to it later. Then it falls down the scroll, and you lose it, and you never respond to that person.
It's the weirdest thing. A lot of times, if you don't hear back from me, it's because I really wanted to get back to you.
Me
if
too.
that makes any sense,
Yeah.
because it's fallen into that hole.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I want to spend some time with this, and but then other cases, it's like, okay, I'm trying to train myself to let me just do it right now, because if it will go into oblivion if I don't get to it.
I'm guilty of that. I want to give this person more time, so I'll do it later. I have 1,240 unread text messages.
Unread text messages.
Yep.
Nah, I like to keep mine at 0.
Good for you.
I have one.
Yeah.
So I'm good on that. Now my mail
Yeah, that's
in
a
my
different
mailbox. Let me see where that is. That's currently at 321,862.
Jesus. All right. Opening things that people want to kick as far as their phone habits go. Opening social media as soon as they wake up.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Don't do that.
Number 4, constantly checking for notifications even when none are there. So if I post something, that's me. I'm like constantly going back. All right, how many views? How many likes?
You are.
How many blah, blah, blah? Who did it? Yeah. But that lasts for like a day, and then the post is old. But so much so that I hate that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I hate
You
the
hate
fact
yourself.
that I'm going back and I'm trying to hit. I'm that rat hitting the feeder bar for the heroin,
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
All right, be honest. How many times a day do you check in with your jerk mate?
Yeah. I've never heard of jerkmate
never
before.
heard.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just thought,
Yo, ever heard of Jerkmate?
number 4, constantly checking. Yeah, I already have that. Number 3, never cleaning your phone, meaning cleaning out.
I think putting it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
I
means.
think actually cleaning the phone with the screen and
Does that mean that? Okay.
that's what I would perceive it as, unless they're talking about cleaning out apps.
Oh, did you ever see those videos where they'll like get the dust inside the like charger port and things like that?
I've seen
it's
that
very like ASMR for me.
Will they do like a wax type of
Yes.
thing? Yeah.
It's almost like a rubbery,
Or like a putty or like a glue.
like a gelatin.
Yeah.
Taking their phone to bed and scrolling until they fall asleep.
I never do that.
I don't either.
No.
And then number 1, taking up storage with duplicate or unneeded photos. These are the things that people want to kick.
Yeah.
Or the habits they want to kick with their phones.
Do you remember years ago, before the cell phones and these kind of things, you get a hotel room that had a phone in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a wild thing. Like, I think I'm going to call somebody while I'm taking a dump.
I actually had this thought yesterday. I went to Acme to get some milk, and as I was walking out, I was thinking about those a-holes that would go into the supermarket, and they would grab a gallon of milk and then just smash it on the floor, and they would do that for views on whatever, and they thought it was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that those little pricks are, what a-holes, man. And somebody else is going to clean that up. And then I was like, oh my God, if I would have had a cell phone in 7th and 8th grade,
you probably would have done
and
that.
in high school, I would have been an insufferable a-hole.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, think about how
it's
insufferable
enabling
I am
you.
now.
Well,
you know,
if you're an attention whore, and look at all these people that do this stuff.
Yeah. All right, I have another survey. And this one actually came up in conversation the other day, and we didn't get a chance to explore it. It has to do with crowdfunding. And it has obviously emerged as a convenient way to get help, covering costs for emergency treatment or, sports equipment, anything in between. But there are some opinions on crowdfunding. And there was the survey that they did. Number 1, they found out where most crowdfunding donations go to. And the most go to medical causes. 39% are for medical expenses or healthcare causes, or at least that's what's being presented.
Right.
17% for a memorial or funeral. 10% for groceries or daily necessities. 8% veterinary expenses or animal causes. 7% natural disaster relief or for an individual or community. 4% for equipment or materials for youth sports or activities. Number 3, education expenses or causes. These are crowdfunding. And 3%, a life event such as a wedding. But the poll shows that Americans, including crowdfunding donors, have some doubts about whether people who crowdfund really need the money and use it responsibly. Most U.S. adults don't have high confidence in the crowdfunding sites. That crowdfunding sites charge reasonable service fees or that campaigns generally reach their goals.
I think we've talked over the past number of years. There have been so many GoFundMe scams and other crowdfunding scams and you hear about them all the time that I think reflexively people go, what is this?
Yeah. I remember back in the day before crowdfunding was a thing on the this is basically before the internet. I had friends that basically this is crowdfunding, all right? Yeah. They would crowdfund to get money so they could get a beach house for the summer. And the way they would do it, because you got to think these are, probably 19, 20, 21-year-old people, they would get like a fire hall, and they would hold a beef and beer. And, for $10, and you got to think, like, as a, young person, all I want to do is just like go somewhere and drink beer out of a red Solo cup or whatever. So
I mean, that's different in tone, though.
I know that, but
you're actually because what you're doing is your money's going to the actual circuitously purchasing your beef and beer.
Yeah,
a GoFundMe is just here you go.
Yeah, Casey was saying this is before the days of crowdfunding,
right.
Yeah. And wouldn't have blinked twice. At what the money was going to. You just,
But would you ever think to go to like could you do a GoFundMe? Hey, me and my boys want to
get a beach house. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I bet you people do though.
Yeah.
The amount of things that'll end up in crowdfunding.
Right.
GoFundMe type. What's the other site that competes with GoFundMe? It's similar name, but anyway, people put up very frivolous things.
Yeah, well, so when the main thing that made me think about that, Steve, is Preston listed like weddings in there. That's not on anybody else to pay for to crowdfund and pay for somebody's wedding, and it's not necessarily on me to make sure that you get a cool ass beach house, for an entire summer.
So I just Googled GoFundMe beach house.
Okay.
And somebody is saying save Nanny's home in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh. Well, there you
So
go.
this family
You're
can't
saving Nanny's home.
Well, this family can't afford the house. So they're trying to raise money to collect. They've gotten almost $11,000 out of $24,000 is their goal.
That's a little different than renting a beach house, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Give us a place to go this summer.
Participation still lags behind more formal avenues for giving, though. Overall, the share of Americans who said that they had given to a crowdfunding campaign was far fewer than the roughly 7 in 10 who indicate that they made a charitable contribution in 2025. It's just through the crowdfunding, a little less participation. These efforts lend themselves to small gifts. The AP NORC poll found that 6 in 10 crowdfunding donors gave $50 or less when they last supported a campaign. The lower donation sizes underscore the importance of strong personal networks. Without offline connections or large social media reach, campaigns can face difficulties reaching the critical mass of small dollar contributors necessary to meet their goal.
When you donate, if you have donated, do you go anonymously? Do you put your name up? How do you go about it?
It depends
Yeah.
on what the event is, but we have done anonymous donations before. But for the most part, I'll put my name down.
One of my little gripes about GoFundMe is I wish that you could edit what your name is.
Yeah.
So I wish that I could write like from the Magnotta family or something like that.
That'd
Because
be true. Yeah,
sometimes
you have to go with your straight up name.
when you're donating it, it's weird if it's just coming from you.
So when I post or make any donation, I always put it from the Magnotta family, which is a weird. That's good. I don't know why.
That's the name on your Venmo or whatever it is. I love it.
So there are broad doubts about whether the crowdfunding sites charge reasonable service.
So obviously, big doings in the world of sports. There's a rather large football game coming up, and there's also perhaps the oldest competition in the world with the Olympics coming up. And we are unabashed fans of Xfinity and Comcast and everything, home security, everything. The TV interface, well, it's taking a quantum leap forward. And to learn about that, we have the VP of Sports Entertainment Connectivity and Platforms, Vito Forlenza. Vito, how are you?
Thanks for having me. Great to be back.
Absolutely. We are excited about this because we were talking about it earlier, obviously with the big game, but the Olympics is always been a bear to bring the experience, to the people. People will consume it at varying levels. Some are just passing interest, and others want to be dialed in every way possible. And I know you're servicing all that whole broad spectrum of people, but you've made some technological leaps that's going to make. I prefer the Winter Olympics because I just think visually it's amazing. But we have some exciting stuff to talk about. So lead us down this path.
Sure thing. Well, when you think about sports in general and the whole media landscape and what's going on, it's actually hard to be a sports fan anymore. Your teams are on different services, different channels, night after night. And then you think about the Olympics and the Super Bowl, like these two huge events happening at the same time. Like, how are you going to watch it? So what we've done at Xfinity is that we've created some innovations to make it super easy for our customers to find what they're looking for and to get them to the game. And we're creating this viewing experience that brings the magic of either the Super Bowl in California or the Olympics in Italy right into the customer's home.
So the quality in the picture, and there is stuff here that and I'm a tech guy, and I'm fascinated by all this stuff. Real-time 4K to stream. Please explain what we're talking about there.
Sure. So this is our newest innovation. It's the absolute best picture quality you can have. Nobody does it better than us because we have the device, we have the network. So if you think about it, this is Dolby Vision HDR. It's the highest picture quality you can have on live television.
And streaming live at that level.
High rate.
Wow. And so that's across everything.
That's across we're going to do this on Super Bowl Sunday for the Olympics. We're going to do it for the Super Bowl and then the post-game Olympic show, and then 24/7 from there on out with the Olympics. And it's the picture quality. It's also an immersive sound quality for your living room. And we call it real time because we're going to get it into your home just seconds after the action happens. So no more spoilers with text alerts or anything like that.
Yeah, which is it's a bitch for a lot of people. Is that they're like, they don't want to know. Again, there's there used to be an old act where a guy would spin plates on sticks and try to keep them. And that's essentially what you're doing. What kind of infrastructure is needed? So, in Milan Cortina, where the Winter Olympics are taking place, I saw it, by the way, it's my understanding that the town itself has a population at its base about 2,500. And that's going to skip up exponentially. But what has to be in place for all of this to happen with that level of picture quality and sound quality?
Sure. Well, it really comes down to our network and our close coordination with the team at NBC, whether they're in Connecticut or whether they're in Italy or San Francisco for the Super Bowl. And one of the things that we've been doing is we've been timing how quickly we can get into the home. We literally had people at the Sixers games when NBC was broadcasting the Sixers game nationally the other night, counting down the shot clock and the game clock, and we were in our sets at home in our test environments looking to see how quickly we were with the stopwatches.
Oh, no kidding. The goal is spontaneity.
As fast as possible.
Fast as possible.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. Because that does kind of suck sometimes. Casey, you would talk about occasionally, you'd be in a different room and keep it down. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Eventually, ultimately, what you have to do in my household is when things aren't timed up or synced up rightly, you got to find out who's ahead, have them pause, and you use a shot clock or something like that. All right, pause it with like 15 seconds. All right, unpause now. But you guys are doing that for us.
Right. And this is the latest evolution. We actually, for the Paris Olympics, when I was here last time, I was telling you about something we had at the time called enhanced 4K, right?
Right.
This is the precursor for that. But still for the Paris, I could tell you a quick story where when there was the men's 100 and Usain Bolt won by 5/1000ths of a second,
right?
Like our customers saw the gun go off, the runners raced down the track, and then it's too close to call and they're staring at the results board, right? And finally Noah Lyles is like, I won. I told you, America, I'm the fastest man in the world. Our customers saw all that happen before customers in our competitors' homes even saw these runners leave the starting blocks.
Wow. Well, that's a huge gap.
Right.
Yeah.
So the multiple screen viewing, which is something you guys kind of were innovators on this. For someone who wants to take the deepest of deep dives, what's available for them?
So we have something that we call multi-view. And multi-view will allow you to watch all 4 NBC channels broadcasting the game. So NBC, NBC Sports Network, USA, and CNBC. And you can watch them all at the same time. But you can also pick and choose what you want in your house. If you want to watch some college hoops, you want to watch NBA, you want to watch soccer.
Oh, so
and
it's
the
not
Olympics.
just Olympic stuff.
Correct. You
Okay.
control it. So you can make it Olympics or you could add other sports in there and make it your own. This is probably the most fully customizable, immersive experience that we've ever built with the Olympics.
Well, it says right here, so Xfinity Fan View feature helps viewers quickly find live event schedules, medal counts, scores, and highlights during the Olympics. So that in and of itself is a production.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is a new companion experience right on your screen. We found, because we talked to our customers a lot, we found customers said, I could find something and then watch it, but help me find it as I watch it. That way, I'm not looking at my phone and trying to think about where I can go next, and then I miss a goal in a hockey game, right? So
yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate the speed. I appreciate the quality, but there's always some little hidden gem feature that you guys roll out because you have 2 whole years of innovation in between these times. Are there any little fun features that you're excited about?
I am. We have something that we're calling AI highlights.
Okay.
So if you record, for example, the primetime show every night or game time programming because you're at work, and you get home and you might say, well, I don't have 3 hours or 4 hours to watch all of this coverage. We use AI technology to tag the different segments in the broadcast. So just with your remote, you can skip ahead to the most meaningful parts.
Is that a recent application?
That is, we've been slowly rolling it out.
Okay.
We started it with soccer, and the team that builds it here in Philly is also building it for Peacock. It's also building it for our corporate cousins over at Sky in the UK. And what this does is it allows the customer to be their own director, so to speak, to go where they want to go.
Will that pair with vocal commands on the remote? Can you do that as well to pick a highlight that way?
So for highlights, you can just say Olympics highlights into your remote.
Oh.
And we're going to give you a whole page. And probably by middle of the Olympics, the end of the Olympics, we'll have like over 500 highlights. We put them in playlists.
Right.
So you can just sit back and watch one after the other, or you could lean in and you could actually choose the highlights that you want to watch. And the new thing that when you mentioned Fan View, one of our other new innovations is a short form video player that is mimicking what you see on social. So it scrolls up and down. You can navigate different categories left to right. Brand new, and we're really excited to get it out there for our customers.
Just jumping here quickly, Casey, you talk about the way social media is fed to us, and that everything is sort of homogenizing. And so how much has social media and all of that, because you guys, you're not trying to hold the ocean back with a board. You've integrated everything for even streaming apps are easily accessible through the remote and stuff like that. How much is the way social media is presented dictating how this whole presentation is taking place?
It's had a big impact. When we talk to our customers, the expectations they have on their phone with social is what they're expecting on the screen.
Okay.
And whether it's really short videos, the ability to flip very quickly between one highlight after another, or to be able to watch 2 things at once, right? They're used to having these patterns on mobile, and 80% of people who watch TV are watching with a phone in their hand. And we thought, well, how do we bring that experience to the big screen? and make it super interactive for you, but also immersive. But at the same time, understanding that you might be a little tired, you might want to lean back. So it's really up to you and how you want to watch. But those patterns have had a big impact on what we built for these Olympics.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm sure the planning for this goes, further back than the Paris Olympics. But what did the Paris Olympics teach you guys about, with your approach to these games?
The Paris Olympics told us that we created, and we were very proud of it, a full screen application that sort of took over the viewing experience because we wanted that immersive. And customers liked it, but they said, I want to do that and watch at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we built Fan View, so that you can have the interactive features. You can also take tours of the different venues at Italy while you're watching the games, instead of having that full screen take over, making you choose which one you want to do.
Well, as TV sets get bigger and bigger, and people they have the real estate to do that, that's a great way to utilize that space. So, Case, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's funny because during the Summer Olympics, at least the last ones, I was on vacation for a good majority of them. But I still liked to watch the packaged games at night, at 8 o'clock at night, even though I had the capabilities to watch them, I guess, in real time. And so with the Winter Olympics, a lot of people are not on vacation right now and don't have that those capabilities. Actually, I wanted to ask about watching stuff in real time, whether it be on your phone or on your computer or on your television.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of our experience is that you can watch any minute of the Olympics you choose. There's over 3,000 hours of coverage. That's a ton of coverage.
That's insane.
And
it's insane.
We'll have it all. It doesn't matter if it's on traditional TV or if it's streaming on Peacock. You just pick up your remote and say Olympics, and our interface has everything together. And then you can personalize it, because when you were talking about those lessons learned, our customers said 3,000 hours, that sounds a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I can't find the 1 hour I really want to watch. So if you can personalize it by your favorite Olympic sport, and then we'll make it super easy for you to find the coverage that you're really looking for.
How long will that be archived? All of that 3,000 hours of coverage.
It'll be available into the summer. And, when you think about, Casey, you're saying, how do we plan? We're already thinking about everything that we built here and applying it to the World Cup, which will be here before we know it as well.
So speaking of the World Cup, so what are plans for that? Will there be a new innovation that might come into place expressly for the World Cup?
Well, we're going to learn from these games with both the Super Bowl in real-time 4K and the Olympics. The goal would be to offer every match of the World Cup in real-time 4K as well, working with our partners on the Spanish language side with Telemundo, and on the English language side with Fox. But really what we're thinking about is, how do we just make it super easy for our customers to watch, whether they're watching in English, Spanish, highlights, games. With the World Cup, there's multiple events similar to the Olympics on at the same time, multiple games on at the same time, watch them both together. So those are the types of things we're thinking about.
Is there any opportunity for you to follow specific competitors in the Olympics? Because I'm sitting here, looking at this piece of paper, and we've got a lot of homegrown talent that are going to be playing and performing at the Olympics. So you got Isabeau Levito, she's a figure skater. You got Andrew Ho from Bucks County. He's a speed skater. You got Taylor Anderson Hyde, who is a curler from Broomall, Pennsylvania. You got Matthew Griner, who is a luger. Not a loser, but a loser from Abington.
Loser.
Are there ways to key in on specific competitors?
The best way we tell our customers, the easiest way to do it is to pick the sport that you're really interested in and that those competitors are in, because that way you won't miss anything.
Gotcha.
So if it's luge, you say luge into your remote. We have everything, all the highlights, all the live coverage, features, on-demand vignettes, and that you see on the primetime show. We'll have those together for our customers on the experience as well. So that's the easiest and simplest way to do it.
And so obviously we are all subscribers and all customers, but for the person who's listening to this and saying, how do I get in on all this excitement? What's the best course of action?
So we have a great gold medal celebration offer right now for our customers. It covers internet, mobile, and TV. Xfinity.com is the best place to find out the package that works for you.
Very cool. Listen, again, I love also that I get a lot of the stuff beta tested. Yeah. You said you just came from the research facility. Anything that I don't want to betray industrial secrets here, but just in general, anything new on the horizon that you can tease?
Well, what we're thinking about is, you put all this together, how does it all interact together for you in your home so it's super easy and seamless? So we can talk about things separately, like real-time 4K and fan view and multi-view. But then you put them in the experience together. They all have to work seamlessly.
That's it.
So that's the
big
biggest
key.
thing that we're doing.
All right. So I got you. You don't want to tip too much. But that's all great. Again, we're very excited about this and want to thank you very much for coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been Vito Forlenza. I'm saying that right, am I not?
You got it.
Okay, all
Perfect.
right.
I mean, it sounds like you should be in the Olympics in Milan right now.
Yeah, what's
you know?
the technology that gets you to Italy to be a part of this?
Yeah.
I will be staying here stateside with the team to make sure it works perfectly in your home.
All right. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Do you want to take a break or do you want to
No, yeah, I think
continue?
we could take a break. Yeah.
All right, so we can take a break and we will be back after this message. Thank you, guys.
Poll found that only 44% of U.S. adults are at least somewhat confident that the sites charge reasonable service fees. I don't even know what the service fees are. I've never set one up, so I don't know. More than half of U.S. adults were at least somewhat confident that people who raise money through crowdfunding sites really need the money, and about half were at least somewhat confident that they use it responsibly, but only about 1 in 10 were very or extremely confident. So
that's a low ratio.
That is. All right, one more maybe?
Yeah, just one more.
Okay. So I'll try to get through this quickly because we have to go on Fox Good Day. But this was in 1998. Gallup in USA Today called up just over 1,000 Americans on landlines and asked them for the best predictions about a year in the distant future, 2025. So they had to make predictions. This is an old survey.
I love this. Yes.
And they're now.
When was the survey conducted?
1998.
Okay.
So a polling archive
71 years ago.
Maintained by the Roper Center at Cornell University.
Run by Mr. Roper.
And Mr. Furley was the president at the time. So here's a look back on some of them held up. Some were surprisingly prescient. Most Americans predicted that over the next 27 years, the country would have elected a black president, gay marriages would be legal and commonplace, and a deadly new disease would have emerged. Most people in 1998 correctly doubted that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans or that alien life forms would have made contact by now. So they got those.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, they got those correct. Here are some of the other ones. 68% believed that physician-assisted suicide would be commonplace. It's become more commonplace.
Yeah.
67% said an environmental catastrophe will have occurred. 66% said that the country would have elected a woman president. That hasn't happened yet, obviously. 64% said illicit drug use, such as marijuana and cocaine, would be commonplace. You got the marijuana part right.
Absolutely.
61% said that people would routinely live to be 100 years old. Not quite that.
Yeah.
60% said that AIDS would be cured.
Well, we're there.
Pretty much happened.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, they stopped. This is the last year for the AIDS walk.
Yeah. And the AIDS fund is over. Yeah. So 59% believe that cancer would be cured by now. They're making inroads, but that's not, obviously, that hasn't
Just reading
happened.
an article that there are more people surviving cancer now than ever before.
I'm sure, yeah. This 56% said that most stores would be replaced by shopping on the internet.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of that has happened.
Getting there, yeah.
52% most people said most people would do their jobs from home.
A lot
of that has happened. And 51% said the United States would be involved in a full-scale war between then and now, 1998 and now, 1998 and now. What they thought would be less likely to happen. Do I have time?
Yes.
Okay. 38% or 67% that cars would not be largely replaced by mass transportation, so that hasn't happened. Cloning of humans would be commonplace.
Not the case.
But 60% said no, it would not be the case. 65% said that most people would not be self-employed.
What about unequivocal confirmation of space gorillas?
That wasn't asked.
All right.
Although it said 68% believe that humans would not have or received contact from alien life forms by now.
So it falls under that category.
Yeah, most believe there are a few bright spots in Americans' outlook. Most believed that race relations would improve and that medical care would be more available if less affordable. Well, neither one of those has happened. And also, they didn't think that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans, but they got that right. So it's kind of an interesting peek back and look at 1998 and what people thought would happen by 2025. And that's your survey. It was an overcast day when I pulled into the area on January 12th, 1996. I drove from St. Louis. I packed up all my stuff in my Camaro.
Yes,
and
perfect car to move in,
and hit the road. And I paused on the way. I didn't drive straight through. It's like a 16-hour drive or
world's
something.
biggest ball of yarn.
There are things to see. No, I stopped in Wheeling, West Virginia, and I stayed for one night. And then the next day I get up and I made my drive into the area, and then I set up camp, and I've been here for 30 years. So it marks that timestamp today.
It is well worth taking time, and as we said earlier, and repeated a couple times in case people are saying, wow, Preston's really going off on this. We were the ones that wanted to do this because it just seemed like an interesting ability because of the realizing that the blizzard of 96 was right at the time you came here.
Yeah.
And you rarely get that time to kind of just sort of, everyone was getting nostalgic anyway, looking at all the pictures and the archival pictures, the Inquirer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, my life shifted dramatically in all fantastic ways. And we were also lauding the power of the city of Philadelphia and the great people of Philadelphia who've done so much for all of us in immeasurable ways. And it was worth, as we thought, paying tribute to that.
It was a leap of faith in my world and my wife specifically. We'd only been dating for like 2 months, and she agreed to move here.
She hadn't gotten the detective's report back on you.
Not yet. No, we were still waiting for that to clear, so she had no idea. But thus is the world of living in radio at the time can be very transient. You can expect to pack up your stuff and leave and go to another city because formats change, positions get switched out, and then all this. So I was not planning on this being my forever at the time because I was just being realistic about it. I'll probably stay here for a few years and then I'll have to go somewhere else,
But it would be safe to say that the impetus for the move and the leap of faith was greatly fueled by your belief in this gentleman we're going to talk to.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of that, Steve, you had asked, do I remember what that day was like when I pulled into town? I absolutely do. It was gray. It was overcast. There was snow on the ground everywhere.
About
the
3
streets.
feet.
The streets were clear. Everything was good. It was very drivable. I didn't have any problem with that. So that was a big concern that I had. But I eventually made my way to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I get off at the Willow Grove exit on 611. And it was at that point. Now, mind you, you didn't have GPS.
Right, yeah.
Cell phones were still sketchy at that time. So I pulled over and I went to a payphone somewhere. There's a gas station or something. I pulled over and I called the gentleman who we're going to talk to now. And I said, how do I get to the radio station? And then he gave me the directions the rest of the way. And from there, so that's how it worked out.
Just follow the old people.
Yeah, to the Benson East building.
Yeah.
But the guy that gave me a job, that changed my life, that created the career that I have now, is joining us now. It's our good friend and former boss, Mr. Jim McGuinn, who's joining us via Zoom this morning. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Nice to see you, brother.
Hey, don't worry. In another 30 years, you'll actually be considered a local. So we're almost there. We're halfway.
It takes a while.
Being a Philadelphian.
Yeah, it takes a while, most definitely. Jim, by the way, how much sooner than I were you in Philadelphia? Like maybe a month or something like that?
Yeah, no, I got here around, I think it was Halloween. I feel like G Love was playing as I was like a show in town the day I drove into town. And I was like, oh, I've heard of G Love. Like that's how new I was as well. Because I moved here. Yeah, like end of October, 95. Yeah.
Jim and I knew each other from St. Louis. He programmed another radio station. I worked at a separate station, but I was in the programming department. So we met each other at concerts, at events, things like that. We knew each other through record people, and we played golf a few times.
We played golf together, and I think you get to know somebody when you're doing that, right? And even though you were Kenny Knight, the top 40 guy, I was like, oh, that guy's pretty cool. Do I call him Kenny? Do I call him Preston? I still feel that way a little bit.
Well, there's a little bit of Kenny in everyone.
And you know what? What kind of did it? So Jim got the opportunity to move to Philadelphia and helm WDRE. I had gotten word that he was leaving, so I just called and left a voicemail, and I said, hey, man, sorry to hear you're leaving, but then again, I'm glad you're leaving because he was a formidable competitor.
He was tearing
He'd done
it up.
wonderful things with the radio station, the Point in St. Louis. And I'm like, I'm kind of glad you're leaving, and I'm not happy you're leaving. Anyway, and I said, good luck. And then, like, the next day, I get a call back, and he's like, hey, you didn't need to do that. That was really nice. And you go, and you were in a unique position that you needed to hire an entire staff.
Yeah, so, and Steve knows this story as well. So DRE was a station that was actually owned by the people that owned WLIR in Long Island. And it was simulcasting mostly from the Long Island station. And my whole pitch to the ownership, because the station had terrible ratings in Philadelphia, I said, maybe you should put some local hosts on that could program it for Philly instead of these Long Island folks. And so they agreed. And so I had to put a whole staff together. And that wasn't easy.
Isn't it amazing to think, Jim, that the same thing that sullies a lot of the industry is that, well, we'll just broadcast from another location, was the argument that you fought successfully against, created a version of DRE that easily eclipsed the New York version at that time. There was a lot of indecisiveness that was going on. So, and then DRE became this buzz station. And so you're off and running.
Yeah, and I lived in Philly for 3 months back in like '91, and so I had a smidge of understanding, but not much. And I'd also lived in Vermont, so when the blizzard hit, I was like, what do you mean you can't make it into the radio station? Don't you have four-wheel drive in your car? Haven't you ever driven in a 3-foot snowstorm before?
I remember you telling me when I got there that you ended up like sleeping at the radio station and people had to pull doubles and just to make it work.
And the Benson East was quite a luxurious radio station compound that we were operating out of.
It was. I mean, I love the stories of people who arrived because Preston was recounting last week as we were sort of talking about doing this thing today. Jim is that this is going to be obviously this is going to be a high tech. This is going to be the pinnacle. It's a major market, and it was like lower than the lowest. Again, it was in a facility that was essentially a retirement complex. There were a few restaurants. It's just a bizarre.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
I mean, we're actually doing the Bizarre File on time right now.
And technically this is when it normally occurs.
It's supposed to air at 9:30. And we're doing it on time today. So the Bizarre File this morning is brought to you by Horizon Services. Horizon Services Plumbing and Electrical. Same-day emergency service. Book now at horizonservices.com.
This is a wild video footage of this. A Brazilian teenager was mauled by a lioness in full view of zoo visitors on Sunday after scaling a 6-meter wall and safety fencing and shimming down a tree into the enclosure. The municipal government of João Pessoa, said a young man identified as Gerson de Melo Machado, 19 years old, had deliberately invaded the lioness's enclosure at the Arruda Câmara Zoobotanical Park.
Why didn't anyone tell me they were aggressive?
The government said in a statement, in a rapid and surprising manner, he climbed over a wall over 6 meters high, scaled the security bars, accessed one of the trees, and entered the enclosure. Viral videos of the attack showed the lioness, Leona, lying next to the glass separating her from visitors who gasp in shock as the teen shimmies down a tree. The lioness spots him and makes a beeline for the tree. She pulled him down to the ground. Bushes are seen shaking, and the teen stands up one more time, and then he disappears from view. The animal killed him.
Yes.
Just flat out killed him.
That's what they do.
Yep. So you can hear people saying it got him with exclamations of, my God. The government statement said Machado died from the injuries caused by the animal. The zoo said in a statement on Instagram the incident was extremely sad and that it was closed while investigations continue. The park said that euthanasia was never considered for Leona, who shows no aggressive behavior outside of the context of the incident. The government stated that the initial investigation showed the man's actions may have been a possible suicide attempt.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, the child protection counselor said in a video that she had accompanied him for 8 years as he went through all the institutional care, she said. His mother and grandparents suffered from schizophrenia, but state psychiatrists say he merely had a behavioral problem and should have been in treatment.
Man.
But that is just a terrible story, and there's footage of him. They show the the lion grabbing him and pulling him down. And then after that, you can't see anything. But the lion did what lions do. It's crazy. All right, the New Hampshire woman known as Kinky Kelly on OnlyFans is going to spend the next 6 months behind bars for a criminal mischief spree during which she filmed herself urinating on food at a supermarket.
Oh, that's Kinky Kelly for you.
And on various items at a Marriott hotel. Kelly Tedford pleaded guilty to 6 Class A misdemeanors in connection with her antics earlier this year. Tedford was sentenced to 360 days in jail, but a judge suspended half of that custodial term. She will be required to serve 180 days in the Cheshire County lockup, after which she will be placed on probation for 2 years.
May the court refer to you as Double K?
Additionally, she was ordered to pay $10,520 in restitution for contaminating grocery items and forcing the business to discard inventory and sanitize the shelves. She will also have to pay $500 to the Marriott, where she relieved herself on a comforter, blanket, curtains, and an air conditioner unit. And she also defecated on the floor and placed the waste into the toilet tank.
So this is because she did basically an upper decker.
An upper decker, yes.
Yeah. So this has basically become a thing now, peeing on, peeing for viral traction.
Yeah.
Peeing in all sorts of places where you shouldn't be peeing.
Well, she was doing this for money. A judge has barred Tedford from returning to either business and has ordered to continue with all mental health counseling. Detectives believe that Tedford's pee spree was recorded for subscribers to her $15 a month OnlyFans page, which has since been deleted. Her Kinky Kelly page described her as a submissive pixie fetish kink friendly extremes too. Her account also offered custom content and paid sexting sessions.
Can you get that stuff on Disney?
Her OnlyFans account noted that her prior page, Petite Princess, got banned. Explicit videos of Tedford remain online, including one clip showing her urinating on new garments in a clothing store changing room as well.
It should give you comfort. No matter how bad things might get, somewhere somebody will pay to watch you go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's always an income stream.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
to speak.
God, I should tell my sister about that.
Yeah. Hey, are you there? Can I talk to you for a minute? How's your bladder?
Whitley Bay, wherever that is, a woman has been jailed after she was spotted having sex outside a busy shopping center in broad daylight. Rachel Hardy Gent, who had her breasts exposed and was naked from the waist down, was seen by a delivery driver engaging in the intimate act. Of course, a court heard that the pair were in full view of passersby and those using Parkview Shopping Center. So please recall, Hardy Gent was arrested and later found to be carrying a broken wine bottle neck in her bra.
Oh, my God. I do that too.
Hardy Gent has now been jailed for 16 weeks after she pleaded guilty to outraging public decency, possession of an offensive weapon, and breaching the suspended sentence.
Hardy Gent and Kinky Kelly, this sounds like an early Springsteen song.
A delivery driver was dropping off goods and was traveling down the trade entrance when he spotted her and a male. The prosecutor said they were laying on the floor having sex. This defendant is said to be naked from the waist down. She also had her chest exposed. The male in question had his trousers and underwear pulled down, clearly having sex. It was plainly in sight of members of the public.
Jen, Kinky Kelly having sex outside the LA Fitness. Hey, babe! Have you seen the mugshot? It's the last person you'd ever want to have sex with.
So members of the public passing by could be seen by people using the shopping center, and the police became involved, and the defendant was arrested. She was taken into custody and searched, and in her bra, a jagged end of a bottle was found, a bottle of wine possibly. So here's what's interesting. So the court heard that Hardy Gent had 58 offenses on her record. Mark Stiles defending said that Hardy Gent wants to be sent to prison.
Oh, okay.
She said she drank so much. He said she drank so much alcohol on the day in the question, she blacked out and has no idea how she ended up outside the shopping center. She had the glass bottle for her own protection, but had no intention of using it. She wants to get help with her alcohol misuse and housing matters, and it's upsetting application to me to ask that she be sent to prison, but that's what she wants, and she's an adult, so perhaps she knows what's best for her. So,
well, she's taken control of the situation and realizes that when you find broken bottle parts in your bra, things have gotten away from you.
Yep, and I think they have. So she wants to be sent away.
Though she was outside in LA Fitness, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Wait, ironic you said that, Steve. There is a Snap Fitness
right outside.
Okay, that's where you snap the top of the bottle off and put it in your bra.
It's in England.
And there you go. That is what we have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Hang tight. We'll be back shortly.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
just when you thought you had
But in as much as that was the case, it also helped breed the attitude that you were looking to cultivate.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely an us against the world kind of thing, or us against our own company, who were nice people. But it was just like, why they put the radio station there? I mean, it's hard to get to Jenkintown from almost anywhere in the Philadelphia metro. And we had to go there every day. And this is before you had, automation and voice tracking, and the overnight person had to get there and be there live. Everybody was there all the time.
So Jim, I came here sight unseen. I packed my stuff and I came. I never visited. I trusted.
I guess I'm a better salesperson than I thought.
I trusted Jim, and not only did I have dreams of a gleaming high-tech studio with all the bells and whistles and toys, but not only that,
I better get my monorail pass.
I also had a dream of the concrete jungle in the city, skyscrapers. I'll be in the middle of it all right here downtown.
Yeah.
And I pull into Jenkintown and that building, and I'm like, wow, okay, all right, so I'm not there, because I didn't ask any questions. I just showed up, and then I walk into the actual studio, and Brett Hamilton was on the air. He was our midday guy, and I was so disappointed. And he could see it on my face, because I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of looking around. I'm looking at this crappy blue foam on the walls and, all of these, and taking it in. And Brett, without me saying a word to him, he just looks at me and goes, yeah, I thought the same thing when I first came in here, too. I was like, wow, he read my mind immediately. But what it ended up being is a really charming place. It had a kind of a, I don't know, it had a vibe to it that was just, like Jim said, us against the world.
That was it, clearly.
And kind of ragtag, and let's make this thing whatever we want it to be.
And there were a number of ways to break at that time. You could be inauthentic about it, or you could be the real deal. And Jim McGuinn and DRE at that time was the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it came across. That's why it still is spoken of in reverent terms these days, because it was that. But I mean, to talk about what happened with Preston, and you, Jim, and I got the opportunity to tell you at the Camp Out for Hunger a couple of years ago, I owe the same debt of gratitude to you. It was you pairing us together, and you sort of seeing this and allowing the opportunity, and then that set everything in motion.
The work you guys have done over the decades here is just amazing. So congratulations on, 30 years, almost 30 years for you guys. 28 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So unbelievable.
But for those who don't know,
or dumb luck, or maybe it's just dumb luck. I don't know.
Let's go with dumb luck.
Yeah. When you're accepting the award, you say, I saw it all. And then when you're with your friends, you go, it was just dumb luck.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, Jim not only programmed WDRE, but then when that station went under, and it was a whole corporate thing that ended up happening because of that, some of us segued over to Y100, and Jim was the program director there for the remainder of the radio station. So we worked together for a long time, and he assembled the Preston and Steve show. The Casey, Kathy, Nick, Marissa, Preston, Steve, the whole crew came together because of Jim.
I remember calling down for a gig I was going after in New York, Jim, and I was just asking you your if you had some behind the scenes intelligence you could relate to me. And Preston's on the show down here, and I'd done the Riverdeck Cafe, the remote broadcast at DRE. And I said, hey, would you let's see about that? And I remember, and I mean, I knew that's because it was just that vibe. I mean, I don't know if you can appreciate it, and you probably can. You've had people who have obviously been mentors in your life or that have done this. But I mean, we were talking about the sheer bizarre domino nature of things, the way they need to fall to basically tectonically change Preston's life, to change my life. Yeah, and you were unaware that you were holding that key.
I had no idea. Well, none of us had any idea this would turn out the way it did, right? But I do remember, and I found this a couple years ago when I moved back to Philadelphia from Minnesota. And Preston, are you okay if I share just a little smidge of the thing? We reached out, and I found the offer letter that I sent you.
Yeah.
To come to afternoons.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like, Dear Kenny Knight, and said, we'd like you to come to afternoons at DRE. And I'm pretty sure the number was $45,000 a year. Like we can pay you a whopping total of $45,000 a year if you would move all the way across the country. And I think we gave you like $1,000 moving expenses. And that was it.
Yeah, to pull up stakes, to shift your life.
Ask your girlfriend to move to Philly on that and come to Jenkintown, work in this facility, and good luck. And but we're going to play a lot of Oasis records, so that's going to be a lot more fun.
I have the letter. It's framed. I have it at home.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's up on the wall.
It was like all the big bucks for you, Preston. and then, Steve, I mean, you think about this. Like, you used to drive down from New York to do that remote gig in Manayunk, and you were just really funny together. And it was like, wow, that guy Steve, he's pretty funny. We should do something with him someday. And when we first got the show together, you were still commuting back and forth. You had not committed.
I had not committed
for a while.
No, and we had just, Claire and I were just gotten married, and she had gotten a gig up there, and I'd tell him, Preston, I remember pulling into Manayunk down to do that thing at the Riverdeck Cafe. So it was a live party broadcast, quote unquote, with a happy hour. Nobody's in the club at that time. And Preston was back at DRE, and I go down and do the stuff. I'd never done stuff like that before. But I remember pulling into Manayunk the first time I'd ever seen it, and I'm like, who the hell would live here? Only for me to live there for years. I fell in love with Manayunk. So that's the nature of life,
Yeah.
Preston, what's the story about changing your name? Because if the letter was to Kenny Knight, Kenny Knight's not too much of an alt name, but whose decision was it to go by Preston Elliott?
No, I wanted to go back. I wanted to use my real name, my real first name, and I changed my last name. And actually, Sarah Clark, who did mornings on DRE, kind of helped me out with that. I threw a few names at her, and she's like, I like that one. So Elliot is what I ended up going with.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that time you had all the rage in the alt community was Monkey Boy and Altar Boy and all of
Casey
these
Boy.
pseudonyms.
Casey Boy.
Yeah.
Jim was Rumor Boy.
Rumor Boy.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
What's the story behind that?
Well,
I don't even remember. Why? I mean, it just makes no sense.
You would give us inside music information that you would hear from record people about, rumblings.
There's a rumor.
There's a rumbling that Sponge is going to be, they're going to be writing a new album next year, something, whatever it is. But it would be Rumor Boy, and we would bring him on. Yeah.
So, Press, how long was your tenure at DRE? I know that ultimately the radio station went away, and then I want to ask about the transition from that, Jim, to Y100.
DRE was a shade over a year.
Okay, wow,
that was it. But I mean, man, when I tell you that the memories are vivid and significant to me.
Seems longer than that.
It was so much fun, and I can't believe we crammed all that into a year.
That's a mind blower, because I felt like we were doing that Riverdeck thing for longer, but it couldn't have been more than 7-8 months.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Jesus,
it was that one summer, right? Because it wouldn't have been through the winter, I don't think.
Yeah,
we had no budget. We had a terrible signal. We had no budget. We were this very left of center musical outlet that had a lot of young adults that liked, but it was kind of hopeless unless we made stuff happen. But we did weird stuff. I mean, we had a football game with listeners. We played soccer against the Cure. We had the whole tripping
with Vinny, tripping Thursdays.
We did all this insane stuff.
The King of DRE Fest. Do you remember that?
We had some guy who got to intro a band,
and we carried him around on our shoulders and stuff, and we did.
And we lived it, we lived that culture. That's the thing, is we were there all the time.
That's why it rang true.
We had a number of great guests stop by. I'll just rattle off a few of them, but I remember had Fred Schneider in the studio. I had the Talking Heads in the studio. I had Brian Setzer stop by. One of the first artist interactions I did with a female singer named Poe. She was there that first week. School of Fish. Man, it went on and on. We had so many people stop by.
You were one of was one of the great things. We talk about LIR, Jim, in New York, and KROQ and these or PIX even in New York. These stations, they were the only outlet for a lot of these bands. So there was. They had to schmooze or drop by. They had to do anything to get into the good graces of these stations, and that provided accessibility.
Hey, so when DRE went away, was Y100 already lined up, or?
So DRE sold, and I remember I met with the owner, and I said, and this is the time when, after the consolidation, Telecommunications Act of '96, all these radio stations were being bought and sold and gobbled up by corporate entities. And I met with the owner, and I said, I don't know if we can get the ratings to get the money in that you want to make. This signal actually doesn't cover the suburbs very well. It covers like the city and the close Jersey area and stuff like that. And I think a light bulb went off, and a month later he sold it to Radio 1, which flipped the station to an urban station. So where the signal is much more competitive. Yeah. So it made sense, and he made a ton of money. He like quadrupled his money in 4 years of owning DRE down here. So, but we were competing against Y100, and I would say we were kicking them in their shins pretty hard. And they had just lost their program director, Garrett Michaels. And so they called me and said, would you come over when DRE goes away? And I said, yeah, but I got to bring some of my people. And we brought a lot of people, including Brett, including Preston, and a bunch of folks made that jump with us to Y100. And that's how that started, actually.
Yeah, Marilyn was on board for that too.
Yeah. And
Dan.
And then
Fine.
I think it was it? Yeah, and these are people. There's such a weird when you've been through like a weird battle kind of camaraderie that we're all still friends today. 30 years later, we all still, whenever we can, we hang out. Whenever we can, we try to get together and reminisce, but also like share that we had this really great thing that we built.
A wonderful thing.
And it was just a blip, or at least DRE was a blip in our careers. And you and me and Brett and a few others get on a text chain and reminisce about it from time to time. I also have to point out how cordial Jim was, because when I first moved here, I lived with Jim and his wife.
Oh boy.
For a couple of weeks, maybe even like a month, I don't know, but we lived in that apartment in the Corman Suites. You remember that?
Oh my God. Yes, vaguely.
Which is terrible because I was a smoker and they weren't.
Oh man.
And it was the dead of winter and I'd go out in the hallway and smoke.
Oh my God.
That sting on like winter smoke.
And the rest is history. And it is a 30-year-old history, which is, I love this. I love this ability to be able to do this because, as we said earlier, Jim, if anything has taught us in the past couple of months that the ephemeral nature, obviously, of life reminds us.
Yeah.
And so it does not hurt to take these pauses now and then if you're in a good place and you've had a bit of a run and you're still surrounded by people who are, critical and contributed to your quality of life. Both of us.
Yeah.
But Preston hitting the 30-year mark is definitely worth taking a look back.
Yeah, and Jim, I want to jump in here and point out the fact that your decision to move to Philadelphia and then ultimately call Preston to move to Philadelphia has resulted in millions and millions and millions of pounds of food for Phil Abundance.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars for Phil Abundance. Preston's entire family. Jim, my entire family, like none of any of that stuff
would have happened
if it wasn't for you. This butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the work you guys have done, and we started that at Y100, the camp out, and it's just the way it's grown and how it's become like such an important part of the fabric of the city. It's just something you guys should all be proud of. And I this is like when we were talking about the morning show and Preston moving from afternoons to mornings. So we were at Y100, but I will never forget, Preston, I was sitting at my desk in my office. You were in the doorway and we were talking and you said, I would really like to try morning. So I was like, are you going to really get up in the morning? Are you, knew you at that point, the way you were.
Yeah.
And you said to me, I want to have an impact on a city the way a guy like Pierre at MMR has had an impact on a city. And this is years before you would work at MMR. This is before you'd even started the mornings. And that was sort of the gold standard that we would look at as far as somebody who had come into a town and really become part of the fabric of that town. And, you've done it.
Well,
I mean, maybe not the first 29 years, but now you've done it.
Yeah. I listen to the Pierre's presence in this town just loomed so large. and I would never compare myself to his level, but I do remember being, I want to be the outsider that came in and found a home and found an audience.
As Pierre did.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming from San Francisco.
Totally.
Again,
very similar.
Showing you the miraculous mix of people that is this great city, the people, surrounding areas, all of it is meant. I mean, coming down from New York for me, this is my home. I'm and as you say, give another 30 years, which I'm sure I'll make.
You'll be accepted. Don't let you park in South Philly on Broad Street. And I also remember, Steve, this one meeting I had as we were forming the show together, and we had a kind of a outside help, like a consultant was coming in to help us, and I was I don't know if I ever told you guys this. I was commiserating him. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work because Preston's not really the kind of guy that reads a newspaper. Like, he's a great guy. He's a great guy at the end of the bar you want to hang out with. Yeah. Steve's got the news. He's got the news. Preston, I'm not so sure. And the guy said to me, he goes, that's okay. You don't have to change him. He doesn't have to read the newspaper. He can be the guy that doesn't read the newspaper, and then Steve can tell him what's going on. And that was...
You know what?
That was it.
You know what is so funny? I still use something similar to that, Jim, as a justification today. Like, if there's something I'm not into that the rest of the world is like way into, I'll be like, well, I'll just be the guy that represents the rest of the people that don't get into it.
Right. And that was for me a lesson on how to build a morning show. It's like, oh, right, you can't have 5 people that are all like the same. You got to have a whole bunch of weirdos that come together. No. And together, if they're curious about the world, it's going to work. Yeah. And it worked.
Well, you've had an uncanny sixth sense about that, and your ability to be good natured and have a paternal-esque care for the people that were under your control, so to speak. It's meant the world. I mean, it allowed you allowed us to grow in the way that mattered. You were always in there swinging for us. When you made a call that didn't work, you would tell us and say, what can we do? And I mean, I don't possess that skill. To do what you do at the level you do.
That's a little Aussie for you. 93.3 WMMR. We got music news coming up in a second. I'm going to jump in for Preston. Preston is out sick today, but just a little teaser. There's a little bit of a teaser about a possible return to Ozfest. We'll get into that in a little bit. But
that's right.
Preston is out today. Just came down with a horrible migraine last night.
We actually got the notification early this morning because he always tries to make sure he can make it in. Today, good. We understand. Taking some time off. And hopefully he'll be in tomorrow.
Yep.
So, there we go.
But we do have business as usual, and we have a lesson question. We have, we got sponsors that we got to, take care of here.
You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah. So we will do like a lesson question and Hollywood trash and music news and all that.
The whole damn deal. Yeah. So we're going to kind of end maybe a little bit early, but not too much off the mark. And today's lesson question. Throw it out there. It pertains to a conversation earlier on in the show, way early. According to a misunderstanding, which legendary ship was also the first woman to perform at the Grammys? According to a misunderstanding, which legendary ship was also the first woman to perform at the Grammys? If you know, you know. What's the number, Case?
610-660-9333. Call in now. We'll get an answer, and we'll take out the trash.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
And the Hollywood Trash this morning is brought to you by Steve Morrison.
Hey! It's my gift to you. All right, Ellen DeGeneres getting blowback after calling for people to participate in Friday's no shopping protest against ICE, only to be seen mansion shopping in Montecito. Ellen awkwardly explained, saying she meant stuff that poor people shop for, like chewing tobacco and tube socks. There we go. Instagram influencer Danielle Bernstein tearfully taking to Instagram to reveal that she and her fiance, Cooper Weissman, I'm sure we all know these people, they've called it quits. Bernstein, the creator of We Wore What, was adamant that this profoundly sad situation will not affect her ability to influence. So.
Hey!
And finally, America's Next Top Model star Lisa D'Amato explaining what she meant when she called Tyra Banks a slimy little snake. D'Amato says she doesn't like her.
Oh!
And that's your Hollywood. And that's it.
They have a America's Next Top Model documentary coming out.
Oh, so
I'm a little excited.
Did you watch the show with any regularity?
I did.
Apparently, Tyra Banks was a friggin' banshee, like a nightmare, like from multiple people.
Yeah,
so
a lot of the models have been talking about it for years.
I can see that. I can see it.
All right, so we're going to get our, see if we have an answer to the lesson question for today, which was, according to an earlier misunderstanding, which legendary ship was also the first woman to perform at the Grammys?
All right, we're going to go to Tim on line 1. He's the one who got in first. Tim, hello.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning to see you.
Good morning to you. I didn't terrible, sorry.
No, you were caught off guard. I completely understand. All right, do you have the answer to that question, Tim?
Yes, Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes, there we go. Well done. Of course, we confuse Ella Fitzgerald and the Edmund Fitzgerald. And what is Tim win, Preston? Preston, oh, God.
Oh, no. Wait.
I feel so sad.
All right, I got to throw him on hold first real quick. All right, so, Tim, you just won yourself a pair of tickets as 93.3 WMMR presents Triumph, the Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded 50th Anniversary Tour. It's going to be on Thursday, May 28th at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale right now for that very show at Ticketmaster.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, we'll get to some Ozfest news in a little bit, but first, Stain has announced a fall tour celebrating the 25th anniversary of their platinum album, Break the Cycle, and they're bringing friends along with them, a lot of friends, actually. The tour features Seether as direct support with Hoobastank. We just were talking about Hoobastank.
Oh, my God. Twice in 2 days.
And then here's another one we were just talking about, Hinder. Those two bands are going to be openers. The tour is going to kick off in September, runs through late October, hitting major amphitheaters across the U.S. and Canada. Frontman Aaron Lewis called the anniversary tour something really special.
If you're Stained, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to do a tour of this nature, don't you get Tide Stick to sponsor it?
Oh,
would that be a perfect
Tide
time?
Stick? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gain, yeah, anything. Like
There we
OxyClean?
go.
Yes. Pretty smart.
Do we have to think of everything?
Yeah, apparently we do, because I don't know who their sponsors are. But tickets for that show or those shows will go on sale on Friday at 10 a.m. and they'll be performing here at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion on September 16th. As I teased earlier, after Sharon Osbourne recently hinted at Ozfest return, the festival's official social media accounts have posted a question about a 2027 comeback. Naturally, this has ignited a firestorm within the metal community. I'm sure Ryan is super stoked about this. I've only been to one Ozfest in my entire life. I had a great time, and it was pretty wild watching men cry as Ozzy was singing "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Oh, it's a wonderful thing. There's been kind of a hole since Ozfest has departed, and these all-day metal festivals, for those that like it, I mean, it really is an experience. Ozfest brought out not just the music, but I mean, they had all the sideshow stuff. It was really an all-day affair. Like, I'm really, really stoked that this is coming back.
I honestly think, and it's what I said to Preston after, Neil Peart passing, and here we are, as I thought would happen, Rush going back out on tour. I don't think Neil would have wanted the vibe and the culture and the experience to end with that, and nor do I think Ozzy, the potential to keep it going on now as a living tribute
Oh, absolutely.
to Ozzy and provide, all the people. You have to realize, towards the end of Ozzy's life, with all of the news about his failing health and the final concert, you have a whole new legion of fans who just discovered him.
Absolutely.
So this would be, I think, a great thing to do.
Yeah, so nothing has been confirmed yet, but it's not going to stop everyone from speculating. If it does come back, will it be a full tour? Who will headline? Will there be an Ozzy tribute set? There has to be an Ozzy tribute set.
You get Youngblood for Christ's sake. He's a massive fan.
I mean, there are tons and tons of talented bands and artists out there that could do that. Now, Ozfest, as you were saying, Ryan, is something special. And Ozzy was super passionate about it, giving young talent a stage in front of a lot of people. As for what the lineup could look like, Sharon Osbourne did not divulge any names, simply stating that she would like to mix up the genres.
I'm seeing in my mind multiple stages with sound equipment.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Speakers, like you're talking speakers and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Lights?
stuff like that, crowds.
Guys, lasers.
Yes.
A fog machine here or there. Face painting.
So last week, Sharon Osbourne told Billboard that she had been having conversations about bringing Ozfest back. Potentially, we would have to wait another year, 2027, and there was no indication at all, that this is on table for this year. So it looks like 2027.
Yeah.
So now for Marissa's wheelhouse, Warped Tour. officially revealed its first 15 bands for the 2026 festivals over the past few days. I'm sure you've been paying attention to this.
I actually haven't, but I laughed because it's like 15 of 92.
Yeah, seriously, that's what they're saying right now. So this past Friday, Warped Tour launched its 30 days of Warped Tour. Where bits of lineup are revealed every single day for 30 days. So Jimmy Eat World, who have not played the festival since 2001, were announced as the first group that will play all 5 locations. And a total of 10 bands were revealed as part of that lineup over Saturday and Sunday. You got Atreyu, Winona Fighter, The Early November, Bryce Vine, The Story So Far, Big Ass Truck, i.e., I don't know any of these bands. Actually, Third Eye Blind. I know Third Eye Blind.
Right. Gerbil Nuts.
Gerbil Nuts is one of them. So that brings a total of 15 bands so far. And if they continue, they can expect to know 50 bands playing Warped Tour 2026. The closest date to Philly is going to be June 13th and 14th in Washington, D.C. at the festival grounds at RFK campus.
The Warped Tour, used to thunder. I mean, it was at the ground zero of a lot of the alt rock. I embrace... the 1-2 hit wonders that populate tours like that. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and there were so many bands that would play year after year. And now a lot of these bands are coming back and playing full albums that they used to play. When you started talking about Ozfest, I was thinking if it took a Warped Tour model where they just play, 5 or 6 cities across the country, set up for the weekend, and then you introduce new and old bands. It's kind of a good idea for success.
Look what Lollapalooza became. It used to be a touring tour, and now it's just Chicago, right?
Right. And now, so they're kind of, I was looking at the map, and they're kind of setting it up in areas where it would be a driving trip for some people, but not bad, right? So 3 hours for us here in Philadelphia, maybe a couple more hours for, New Yorkers or whatever.
You do a 50 milligram edible, right?
Yeah. Hop on a plane, pass out. Yeah. So passes for the 2026 Warped Tour can be purchased. And also, you can see all the confirmed bands and all the information at VansWarpedTourDC.com if you want to do the closest one to the Philadelphia area. And then this is just a little teaser. I want people
Nothing for me?
No, this is a little teaser for you.
Okay, all right.
For you, Marissa, for you, Ryan,
All right.
Sam, Andrew, and everybody listening right now. I'll give you a part of the story, and then you just got to go to WMMR.com for the rest of the story. But Alex Van Halen has been working on an album with Toto guitarist Steve Lukather. And he's also prepping for a Van Halen anthology book. And the drummer shared news about these projects earlier in the month, and he keeps finding ways to celebrate his brother, Eddie Van Halen, who passed away almost 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So the album will contain recordings that Eddie Van Halen wrote and played before he died. And Lukather's involvement marks the first time that Alex has worked on music since losing his brother. The rest of the story can be found at WMMR.com.
Good tease.
Yeah.
Good tease, bro.
Yeah, man. So that is your music news. I'm trying to buy a little bit of time because Matt Cord has a flat tire.
Does he?
Yeah.
When do we learn this?
Just a few minutes ago. I do know what the letter is. So
all right, he's coming in from media. You want to buy him a little bit of time?
Yeah.
Do we unveil our free jazz?
I think it's time. I think it's time we finally. Marissa, grab your trumpet. Steve, you got your stand-up bass.
All set to go.
We're all good to go.
Well, is there anything we need to service, by the way? Because we've obviously been playing light and loose with the show today as we're kind of.
As a matter of fact,
doing it off the
cuff.
Let's
do another giveaway here real quick.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Oh, well, this is very exciting.
It's a week from tomorrow.
In case you don't know, it is next Thursday. It is the greatest sorority in the world. It's Zeta Eta Pi. And we are having our Galentine's Day bingo sorority party. And it's at Parks Casino. It is Thursday, February 12th, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden. I can't get that right. Love that place, though. We've had a number of events there. It's right inside Parks Casino.
You literally have to walk through the sports book to get there.
Yeah.
And the sports book is awesome.
I kind of dig it. So there's going to be all sorts of cool prizes. Obviously, we're playing bingo in the funnest of ways, which means half-assed. 21 plus, ladies only. You can go to WMMR.com for your chance to win. But I'm going to say right now, 3?
Yeah.
Should we do 3?
Let's do 3.
All right, let's
Pick those
take
numbers.
the first 3 callers. Well, let's do the first 3 callers.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah,
oh, my God.
How about that? Nice and easy for Sam.
Speaking of which.
And we'll see you at the event. What?
You singing One is the Loneliest Number yesterday? It's on our social media. It's on our Instagram, right?
Yeah, it is.
It is just so funny because I know that we all have done this,
That,
you know, but it was just so good. It was just so perfect. And watching Preston, and you jumped in there perfectly.
Well, the reverb matched the song.
It really did.
It's that sound. So,
all right. By the way, that phone number to call in is 610-660-9333.
First three callers.
Yeah, first three callers. Marissa, were you going to say something?
Oh, you know what? I pulled up a story that might ping Steve because we all had our own stories.
Yeah.
Paul Simon announced a tour.
I saw that. The only reason I didn't bring it up is because he's not coming anywhere close to Philadelphia. Or did you have new news?
He is.
Oh, whoa. Where's he going to be?
Yeah, Steve, on July 5th, he'll be at the Mann Center.
Listen, there's so much of Paul Simon that I love. Simon and Garfunkel, love the Graceland album. It's amazing. I have to say, at the 50th anniversary of SNL, he sang with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Who was
Sabrina
taller?
Carpenter was Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
The guy's a legend, will always deserve his legend. Maybe that was an off night, but it was really lacking. So I don't know. I mean, listen, to see a legend like Paul Simon with that catalog.
Yeah.
But the last thing you want to do is if you have I'm going to have to litmus test. I'm going to have to do a little digging to see what his vocal status is right now because I was less than impressed.
Okay. Well, July 5th at the Highmark Mann Center.
Love the venue.
Yeah.
Love the artist. Let's see if everything jibes, and maybe I'll do that.
Yeah. Matt Cord is still waiting for roadside assistance. So.
Oh, man.
And, hey, listen, we're still going to get you the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize. So that happens whether Matt's here or not. All right.
What was it? BTO yo?
BTO yo.
Of all days for us to end early.
I know. All right. So we will be right back. We'll get that letter of the day for your Word of the Week, and then we will wrap things up here.
Nice. I'd be an abysmal failure because it's something that I think is in your DNA, you know, and it's an amazing thing.
I want to piggyback on that because Jim, and I've worked for several program directors, but Jim, you have a way of encouraging and inspiring people that I've never quite experienced with anybody else, and that's one of the coolest things about you. And I know we didn't always see eye to eye on stuff. Jim and I we'd butt heads from time to time. Jim would always tell me, by the way, he could tell when I was mad at him because I would use his name. I'd be like, "No, Jim, I don't think so." And he's like, "I know when you're mad at me."
The thing that look, we were, I was 28 or something when I came to DRE. Like, I can't believe they gave me the keys to the radio station at that age.
Yeah.
Like now, it seems like I was a baby. We were all babies at that time and learning how to work together. And the other thing I learned from you guys were really hardworking, and you had this like office bullpen, and you would meet every day and powwow with the show. And this was the first real morning show that I'd also been a part of helping, foster. And I quickly learned that any idea of mine, if you guys weren't into it right away, I had to just give it up. And because I would try to be like, no, you should really do this. And you'd be like, and then you'd do it and it would be terrible. And I was like, all right, lesson learned. They will do what they want to do no matter what I tell them. So
but it takes,
I got to reshape this. Yeah.
It takes a certain person to do that who doesn't in a huff go, God damn it, I'm going to ram it down your throat. You wanted the best product, you wanted the best for the listeners, you wanted, and that's why it worked. So
I also like the attitude that we had. Jim, I want to ask, whose idea was it to take out that full page ad in the city paper?
Well, there were
I remember
different controversial ones. The one with the F-bomb in it, or the one about MMR. So.
No, the F-bomb one in particular.
Oh yeah. I think that was me. Same thing. Y100 didn't have a big budget, and I think we tweaked the format to include more like active rock, like we were playing Metallica and heavier bands that we hadn't played earlier.
Yeah.
And so what the ad was like, we effing rock or something.
No, it was FU, we rock.
Oh, yeah.
Only F was not abbreviated. It was fully spelled out.
Yeah.
I know what it was. We were just getting brushed aside publicly for whatever reason. There was an air of that they're just those guys over there doing this thing, and we were like, dude, we're rock.
Today is National Cheesesteak Day.
Yes, it is. Got an email that says, "Hey, Preston and Steve Show, happy National Cheesesteak Day from Whizzle Truck. We were at the Camp Out for Hunger last November.
They're great.
And we are just about to hit our 1-year anniversary of being in business. Over 100 events in the area in such a short time. And today we're feeding some well-deserved hungry people at Pico. Couldn't think of a better way to celebrate the day. Sincerely, that is from Chris and the rest of the Whizzle team.
Whizzle faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle, baby. I'm not going to have a cheesesteak today. I'm kind of watching what I'm eating. I'm trying to hit some weight goals. I hit my little goal earlier this week, and I want to hit my medium goal by tomorrow.
So your weekend, though, you give yourself a little latitude.
I think I'm gonna. Weekend I always give myself a latitude. We've got a Pudge's nearby us, which makes a great cheesesteak. So I might go by there and celebrate National Cheesesteak Day a couple of days.
It's been forever since I've had a classic.
Really?
Like a classic cheesesteak that are, you can find them anywhere. Here we live in Cheesesteak Central, but calorically it's always a tough thing to reconcile. But if you're going to go all in on the weekend, you give yourself a bit of a cheat. Yeah. I have to think now where I want to go, what I want to get.
I have a friend who's a member at a golf club, country club called Applebrook, and they make when you go to like an upper level where they use really quality meat and stuff like that, it's to die for. So I'm gonna have to dive into one soon.
I don't think about calories ever. Like I really, I don't.
I got you.
But I'll probably do a cheesesteak every probably 5 or 6 weeks or something like that. Yeah, and I have Thunderbird is the place that I go to. That's just
it's a wonderful place. And everyone has a great time. We cut the meat thinly.
It's slicely thinned or thin sliced.
Thinly sliced. No.
Thin slicely.
Thinned slicely.
And our chefs, Ert and Bernie, will take care of it.
No, it's Bernie and Ert.
Bernie and Ert.
But there is, right down the street from them is Delco Steaks, and they are making waves in Delaware County as far as cheesesteaks are concerned.
And just because they're so tasty?
Yeah.
They have a wave machine.
They do have a wave machine. No, no. Their approach to the cheesesteak is...
They're redefining it?
No. It's more akin to like your... Pat's, Geno's, Jim's, it's just real good quality stuff.
Sometimes if you just make it in the classic sense, with, as Preston was saying, the best ingredients, you become a thing.
But they're also not far from each other, so you really can't go wrong. But so National Cheese, is it National or is it Philly Cheesesteak Day?
Today's National Cheesesteak Day. That's how it's been quantified. I don't think it's National Philly Cheesesteak Day.
So there'll probably be some sort of ceremony at Arlington or something.
I told you when I see the words Philly cheesesteak, I'm like, that's not the real deal. No. Just immediately I think of that. But whatever.
Yeah. There's a place that Casey's recommended to me that I still haven't been. It's called Nick Filet. I think they have 2 or 3 locations at this point. There's one in Paoli, but I've heard that their cheesesteaks are banging, and they use Preston like really good cuts of meat, and it's like a standalone kind of steakhouse. It's not at all like a fancy place. I think the one in Paoli used to be like Roy Rogers or something. Anyway, I want to check that out.
Nick, and you just started talking about variation and Wilson's.
Oh man, they were here yesterday.
Yeah,
apparently they stopped by and had some goodies.
Meatless. They're
you like the impossible one. Yeah,
holy effing
it's
hell!
Good too. It doesn't taste like a regular cheesesteak. It's something different.
Yeah,
and it's fantastic.
It's funny, Nick. I've recommended Nick Filet, but I've never actually been. I've only ridden my bike past
son
it.
of a wait a minute.
No,
you'll recommend places you've never been to?
No, I didn't actually recommend. I probably just asked if he's ever been because it's Nick.
No, you said it was the best place you'd ever been.
That's
you were like, I love it so much.
You will eat nowhere else but this place.
But it
looks really good from the outside.
2 locations that I know about. One is in Paoli on Route 30, and then there's another one right on Beach Avenue in Cape May.
Now I'm trying to think if I've ever recommended a place I've never been to before to somebody. I'm sure I have at one time. And you need to go there.
Great.
Never been there, but you need to go there.
I did on this show one time.
What
had recommended Flex ice cream in the Villas. And then somebody was like, you ever been? I'm like, no, I haven't, but my cousins have been there.
My cousins have been there. We don't, we do know.
But I have been there since.
All right.
You ever recommend a movie that you haven't seen?
No.
I probably have. But I heard great things.
Yeah. So anyhow, thank you to Whizzles for getting in touch with us this morning. And National Cheesesteak Day. So get out and celebrate enjoy, if you will.
There's a wealth of places to go to.
We're very lucky. We had the one guy who had rated 1,000 of them. You remember? Took, 4 years, 3 years, something like that, and eventually got through all of them. And I did have the full list printed up here, and I'm like, what am I doing with this? I'm never going to...
What, are you going to will it to your kids?
Yeah, I'm never going to go through this. I eventually threw it away, but there's some good suggestions there.
Well, sometimes I fall, though. Again, it's been years. Well, no, I've had the Wilsons. So that's still a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I amend my statement.
Yeah.
Speaking of eating, I saw this interesting survey. It was done in the UK, but could definitely be tailored to pretty much anywhere. It's a new survey of 2,000 adults, and they asked them about their secret snacking spots.
Secret snacking spot.
Okay. And so, if you're Kathy, you eat nowhere but the kitchen or the dining room.
Oh, like actual locations in your house?
Yeah.
Right.
Sneaking.
You will not bring food upstairs. You will not hide stuff under the pillow.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Do you have to? You have to eat in the kitchen?
Wait, but hold on. Why are they secret?
Okay.
Oh, well, go ahead. Explain.
I had a secret snacking spot.
Why?
And I do too.
I'll explain in a little bit. But you go ahead.
Sometimes we won't have sweets in our section of the house, but my mom always does in the basement. So
Okay, so you sneak down there?
I will sneak down there.
Okay, all right,
and it's
all right.
even better if she's not there.
I got it.
Because then I will go absolutely crazy.
Then you can put a bra on.
That's stealing is what that is.
Does she come home and she's like, what happened to my...
No. She has more sweets than she can handle.
Okay,
I mean, she's like a bird anyway.
He's like Norman Bates in the basement.
That's funny.
Casey's there with the wig on, sitting in the rocking chair, eating Charleston chews.
I mean, Kathy, last night, for instance, I finished my dinner. I worked out hard yesterday, okay? I ran. I did a whole bunch of stuff. I earned it. Okay. So I opened my freezer.
He likes to neutralize it.
Okay. I opened my freezer, and the ice cream that I was expecting to be there was not there. And we had no other sweets in the house. And so I snuck on down to my mom's, and I grabbed some. And it was like leftover Christmas candy, a cookie or two.
Or two.
Yeah.
Some of her medication.
Just a little bit.
All right, so
she's not going to use all this amoxicillin.
The secret snacking spots, and feel free to
talking about that song off air.
Gets me very nostalgic.
That song was brand new when I first got into radio, and when you and I basically first started working together.
At Y100, I came down from New York. I've said this story countless times, but if you want to talk about those songs that transport you to a time and a place when we were trying to build the show into something, didn't know how things would break. I go right there, man. I love that song. Also, because I was away from my wife, we'd just gotten married recently, and we were trying to make things work. And the lyrics speak to me, so I love it.
Yeah, me too. Preston Elliott is out sick today. Hopefully, I was talking to Bam Bam, who was talking. And by the way, Bam Bam talks to all of our wives.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He literally has every single person on speed dial. And so he was talking to Rochelle, and Press was asleep. Hopefully he's getting the rest that he needs, because he was in a bad way last night and obviously this morning.
I think, is Jackie going to run over some olives and linguine? What does he eat for breakfast?
Fettuccine Alfredo and olives. Yeah. He's a vegetarian. Yeah.
So there you go.
He's a vegetarian, and I love Bam Bam. He's got his routine.
Salad balls.
Yeah.
But, and if you're feeling in the mood for a good drink, a green muchacho.
Muchacho. Yeah.
And what's the Easter candy he loves?
Oh, he loves Zittner's eggs, the buttercrack eggs. He actually knows how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
But he said something to me. Oh, he didn't know. Oh my gosh. He tried to say Galentine's, and he was like, Guava Day. I was like, dude, it's just Valentine's. He can't even say Valentine's. He says Valentine's.
Yeah. I love it, though. I wouldn't have it any other way.
If you want to have an amazing week, drive across the country with Bam Bam. I'm telling you, I loved him before we left.
Yeah.
And I love him. And we did 2 cross-country road trips.
It would be, to me, it's like someone who's always wearing a Snoopy costume. Like, he's just immediately loved.
Like, imagine having like a toddler that you don't have to change your diaper and like that.
Just have to feed it once in a while.
When we went out to eat, he would text the menu to Brittany, his girlfriend, and then she would tell him what he could eat. Not that he was asking for permission, but he's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. I just know that I don't eat meat and stuff like that.
I'll have this porterhouse. That should be good.
I'm allowed to eat
him.
house. Yeah.
So we're hoping Preston will be in tomorrow. We'll find out. My guess is he probably will be. He was just the 1-2 punch of his congestion, which he was coming out of, and a migraine, which obviously was the last straw.
And I'm on his microphone right now, so I made sure I grabbed some Lysol and sprayed some stuff down.
Wise move.
Yeah, because you don't want this sort of trickle down effect. It was like, well, Preston's sick, and then I'm sick, and then you get sick, and then Marissa gets, and then
So again,
happens.
to that I say, Dr. Neil Med nasal rinse.
Yeah,
I cannot recommend it enough. I haven't had an actual cold in over 10 years, but you've heard me say that many times. Matt Cord trying to repair a tire out somewhere near Drexel?
Yeah, Drexel Hill.
Yeah.
So Drexel Hill, he is, even like an hour ago, he was waiting for roadside assistance.
All right.
And,
what?
Yeah.
These days where cars don't have a spare tire.
Right? I think his does. I think his does. His is a... it's a crossover, crossover. Yeah, I think it might, but either way, you're on the side of the road in these conditions. There is no shoulder. Even on Route 1, there is no shoulder. But I told him to stay safe, get here. We'll hold down the fort until he gets here.
So it's been a crazy day, but we have still some stuff to take care of, Casey.
Yes, sir.
And let's get to that.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, today, the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter I, as in indignation.
Oh.
And just put that together. What is that, the third letter of the week?
Yeah.
It is not going to be BTOYO this week. It's actually going to be a real word. And if you're collecting all the letters on Friday, you could possibly win a 6-pack of summer concert tickets for Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. That is a pair of tickets to each of these shows. MMRBQ on May 9th, featuring Godsmack, Alice Cooper, The Hooters, Everclear, and many more. You got the Black Crowes and Whiskey Myers on June 12th, and Motley Crue with Tesla and Extreme on July 27th. Black Crowes tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's not Thursday. It is Wednesday.
I know.
So those
You're doing
tickets
fine.
go
No,
on
I'm
sale.
right with you in spirit.
Friday, and then MMRBQ and Motley Crue on sale right now via Ticketmaster.com.
Sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'm going to thank some sponsors. I'm also trying to figure out what we got going on the show tomorrow. So let me
You should thank our guests for today?
Yeah. We had that Faizon Love this morning.
On Zoom. And then we had Vito
Forlenza.
I was trying to pronounce that right. From Xfinity, talking about the incredible new way they're going to be able to convey and get you all the coverage of the Olympics and the Super Bowl with their new amped-up system, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and Faizon has a show tonight at City Winery if you are looking for something to do.
So citywinery.com/Philadelphia. By the way, that's a great venue. It's like right in the heart of Center City, right by the Fashion District. And so plenty of parking. There's a parking garage right there across the street.
A lot of the entertainers are really loving it, comedians and musicians.
Yeah, so not only is there plenty of parking, but if you just want to, take some mass transit into the city.
How far is it to Wetzel's Pretzels?
It's inside,
right there.
Right
Dude, you just walk right across the street. That's, you might have to go up like an escalator or two, but
you don't even have to go outside. You can go to Wetzel's Pretzels, Sephora, H&M.
Oh, it's the best.
Primark.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what's going. That's what happened to. Oh my God.
I can help you out.
That's what happened today.
That is what is going down.
Yeah, that's a what's going down episode of That's My Mama. So this is what's going on right now. I'm going to give you the sponsors for the day, and then I'm going to let you know what's going on tomorrow.
There we go.
And then we're going to close the door.
I like that.
So today, the Preston Steve Show is brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Also brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. The Preston Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. And brought to you by Worldwide Stereo, turning dens into super boxes since 1979, worldwidestereo.com. On the show tomorrow, Marcus in the Darkness is going to come by tomorrow to talk about the ACS Bike-a-thon.
Yes.
We got something pretty cool collaboration going on between his team and my team.
You're collabing.
I ride in a separate ride, but we can maybe give some details tomorrow,
Nice.
and especially details on how to join his team for the ACS Bike-a-thon. Also, we're going to do a Zoom with Zach Wild. Thankfully, that got moved. It was supposed to happen today. Got moved to tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he will be joining us via Zoom. Also, David Feldman from Bare Knuckle Fight Boxing.
Yes.
He's going to be dropping by with a bunch of different boxers. You got some female boxers and some like really, really popular male boxers that are going to be coming by. And then also comedian Gabby Bryan, whose father is David Bryan from Bon Jovi, the keyboard player from Bon Jovi. So she will be in our studio in the 8 o'clock hour. That is what is on tap for tomorrow. Matt Cord will at some point get here today.
I'm sure he will get here in due time and carry you through the rest of the day. So,
all right. Well, there you go. I'm going to do this on Preston's behalf.
Do it.
I'm not trying to be Preston. I will never, ever try and be Preston. But rage on. Have a great day in the morning, and we will see you tomorrow.